I counted down. I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then you're like, and then he just looks at me and he just drops it. And I was like, here we are. This is where we are at. And you're welcome. I mean, I wouldn't say it's a personal hell. I mean, it's more of like a chosen one that I subject myself to. An echo? Let's see. I don't know. Oh, there we go. I got it. Figured it out.
Okay.
Yeah. You guys talk?
Hello?
That's okay. Got it.
Sunder.
Well, my dice are not organized. Although I'm not actually looking at the Twitch yet, so I need to.
Oh yeah, no, that's okay. Full cast and Soul's back. Hail to the friggin' sun. Oh, Taco missed everybody.
Yeah.
Taco, we missed you too.
No, so that's fine. Thank you, Graham and Taco, for providing us with taco support. No, technical support. Yeah.
Taco support is very necessary.
Yeah, we need a technical.
I can
technical.
go for some tacos right now.
I mean, let's just forget D&D. Let's just all go grab tacos right now.
We'll get on a plane right now. Let's go. I'll meet you in like 2 hours.
We'll just play
new EMS themed taco truck called Taco Support.
On a plane?
Taco Support.
Okay,
yes.
Fine. Well,
we could eat tacos at Taco Cabana. We'll just play D&D there. We'll just put a couple of tables together and play Taco Bell. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, hello everybody. Welcome to tonight's episode of Game of Santos. And
that's today.
Company. Oh, that's today. Oh snap! Why are we here? I thought this was the chess tournament. I don't know.
This is session 0 to campaign 2.
Yeah,
no.
little
all
did
our
you
characters
know,
died
everybody died at port when we'll just say it was Kindred set off a nuclear bomb in the harbor. He was like, I've had enough of this noise.
I think it's definitely the Iskra went off by herself.
Iskra went off by herself? Oh yeah, so is this gonna be, how about we do this? We're gonna do a prediction. Who is the one who's gonna cause chaos first? We'll have team A, Iskra by herself, or we'll have team B, Galil, Renan, Eloquent, and Sonder. It'll be the girl versus the boys, basically.
You didn't even include me in that. Yeah.
Oh, you and Kindred are on the boat.
There are Kindred and Soul on the boat.
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
A wild card.
The only one who could they're good at staying behind, because then whoever gets in trouble, they're gonna be the ones that are gonna be like,
and I did like
jumping to someone's rescue.
What's happening?
If you don't talk to me in 10 minutes, I'm like, fuck.
Well, I have a question.
And then nothing.
How well do goats do on the sea?
I have so many questions. What now?
Goats
no. Listen,
on the sea. Good luck with that.
I just hear "oh no" echoing in my head now.
Oh no.
Wow.
Oh no.
Well, it took me a couple seconds to process your joke, but when it connected, very nice.
Who's the one who's going to cause chaos first? Not me.
Always Aaron.
Not me. All right. Well,
I mean, that's fair.
Now you do not miss Goat C. Don't even pretend. You didn't even know Goat C. You barely knew who we were. You just advocated for Goat C's hastened departure. Goat C. Oh yeah, yes. Graham's bananas. All right. So before we get started, we do have an announcement. I believe tomorrow night, about 8:30, we're going to be playing or broadcasting, streaming the first episode of the one-shot based off of Beryl Goldweaver's Death Squad of Doom, in which, we saw the little teaser last week, that she had found out some information. So now we get to see the fun little shenanigans we have going for that coming up soon. So stay tuned for more details on our Twitter or online. And make sure you follow us, because that's how you'll know that these things are happening.
And I'm sure a few of us will be hanging out, watching it
yes.
ourselves.
Oh, yes. Definitely. Going to be
Wait,
adding
what
commentary. Tomorrow night, we'll probably do it, because probably about like 8:30 or so.
Oh, yeah, okay, then I'll be there.
Yeah.
I'd be at work.
But it will be on VOD. So
Be there, be square.
Be there,
Be
or
there and be a square in the, age of digital communication.
Yeah,
True.
definitely.
True.
But to get started, we're going to go with our intro and then get right into tonight's game of Santos. One time. It's dark in here. It's dark in here. Okay. Welcome back. We are going to go ahead and dive right in. Welcome to the people who have come to visit. Hello, Minty. We just told everybody, Minty, that we will tomorrow night, be playing your one shot. So we have Minty that's in the chat is going to be in there. Also, CS Graham is going to be in there. And then we have a couple of our friends from the Discord that have also blessed us with their D&D presence. It should be very entertaining. All right, so to get started, the Brigade of 8 have made their way into the start of the first leg of their journey, as they have traveled on the ship, the merchant vessel, the Lemnos, having reached their first port of Procampur, a rather large port that is going to be their first stop for the night. And just like any good cruise ship, they of course got immediately off the vessel on their first expedition, and hopefully we'll see if they make it back in time for the ship to be leaving by the tides rise in the next morning. Is it tide rises in the morning, or does it fall?
It's on the cycle of the
It
moon.
rises,
depends
right?
on the
It
moon.
rise.
The tide
It
rises.
depends on the
What
cycle
time?
of the moon.
Depends on the
It's
seasons
that.
and the circle.
Wait.
Yeah, the moon.
What are you
do not
doing?
remember?
Fuck with the geology.
I thought it rises when the moon comes up, depending on the phase.
I don't, I know. Anyway, I was
I don't
just
know.
curious.
The moon
I just
is
know
highest
that
in the sky.
ships leave in the morning. That's all I know. Okay, so we're just going with that.
That's
Ships leave in the morning.
gravity.
Roll for
That's
tidal
all the
knowledge. I've
water
already
up.
rolled a 1, so you know what? It's okay. We're just going for
That is quite
both.
evident.
Both. It both rises and falls.
We're
Yeah,
doomed.
makes sense. Yeah, we're great. This is off to a great start. So
The gods of the sea are
no one
just...
knows the Googles.
yeah, true. Ask the spirits. All right, so as you guys have reached the city of Procampur, now knowing that you have an evening to yourselves, some of you have decided to leave the safety of the vessel to procure whatever knowledge you can find on your quest, as that is kind of what you were supposed to be doing anyway. Trying to find where the location of this graveyard might be, seeing what you can find out. You guys have entered into the harbor and bazaar area. Finding for yourselves the delightful sights, sounds, and smells of this region. You guys then decided to go on a little bit of a shopping venture, as some of you went off to go buy spell components, weapons, and whatever sort of knickknacks you could find.
Tattoo.
A tattoo. Oh, I totally forgot about that. Yeah. Tattoo. Iskra went and bought some kebabs, and then decided to go to the one place she was told to avoid, the red tiled roof district of the services area, where people go to get stuff made. Basically the manufacturing zone of the city. She's like, why not? Let's go there. And let me go solo. Because she's a city girl and that's what she does. And Renan, Galil, Sonder, and Aloquin go on their shopping adventure. Sonder finds himself in a music shop of sorts.
A Disney princess.
And found himself talking to someone by the name of Princess, who was very enamored with Sonder, and bought himself a hurdy-gurdy. I think that's about where we left off, with Kindred and Soul remaining on the ship just in casesies. All right, so to get us started, we're gonna have Team A and Team B. Team A is going to be Iskra because she's awesome, and then Team B, I need one person from Team B. Okay, Renan and Iskra, I need you both to roll a D4 for me.
A D4.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna use the red one. So I'm
Okay.
going to the red roof area.
Ooh, yes.
You have both a high and low tide each morning between midnight and noon, as well as the evening between noon and midnight.
The more you know.
Good to
This
know.
is a 2.
These
That's
are not the droids. You're looking. I got a 2.
A 2? Okay.
A 2-2.
You both got 2s. Roll again, if you will.
And I look so pretty.
Do they though?
Whoever has a higher dexterity modifier wins.
3.
1.
Okay, I was trying to see who was gonna go first, but you both, it was like, well, one is odds and one is even, and then both of you got the same numbers or same pride, whatever. We'll just go with, we'll go with the Red Roof District. Why not? Because you were the first one to tell me too, so that works.
So who's that one?
That would be Iskra.
Team A consists of Iskra, Wolverine. Team B will consist of
Perfect.
Aloquin, Renan, Sonder, and Wolverine.
All right. So let me set the appropriate sound effects then for this side of town. As you slowly nibbling your kebab, find your way into this section of town. Do this and this. Okay. The smell of the forges hangs heavy in the air. There's a tang of iron that you can almost taste. A little bit of that smoke from the billows coming from each of the forges from different shops. Not all of them seem to be those that you would imagine would do like the heavy metal work. Some of them are smaller shops. There's definitely a few people that are still around. Some of them seem to be gathered, watching the masters at work, as it were, as they hammer away at metals, making shields and weapons, plows, and various other forms of metal goods. The air here feels warm, a little warmer. Even with the less amount of people, there's still that like cooked air, that dried air feeling to it as you peruse each of the streets, kind of making your way as like this city kind of it sits like the bottom of it hits the bay and then kind of like slowly coasts up the side of the hill, which is why you can see the various different districts with their different colored roof tiles. You're able to kind of pick that out as it kind of slopes upward, and this particular avenue goes along the edge of it, so there's not so much of an incline. But still, there's you as you walk about here, what would you like to do?
Well, just like last time, I'm going to be keeping my eyes and ears open for signs of Thayan activity, just in case.
Okay.
And I think I am going to go ahead and pop into one of the like more delicate metalwork shops, like one that does, I don't know, like some type of hammered or stamped art or something like that.
Sure. Yeah. Easy. You know. Go ahead and make a perception check as you walk about.
Sure. $11.
Okay. So looking about, you can see that there are several merchant-style individuals that kind of have almost like a small entourage that pass with them. People that are carrying the goods that they have purchased as they make their way back to the docks. You had been told before by the kebab dealer that there was almost an air of like just underbelly to this area, but you have yet to get any sort of feeling like that. Like it doesn't feel like danger lurks around every corner. There's certainly a fair share of mysterious individuals as they, you know, move about. There's some that like have their cloaks up, their long capes and cloaks kind of dragging just behind their heels as they walk through the cobbled streets, but nothing that seems to indicate any sort of Thayan presence. Occasionally you do see the city guard, as they do seem to have a uniform to them as they travel around in pairs or sometimes 4 at a time. But it doesn't feel, malicious is not the right word, but it doesn't feel dangerous, I guess. But you do spy one shop as you kind of go by its open windows, and you see that it is there in the window display. It does seem to just have some really ornate looking metalwork. It's almost like one of those pewter and silver shops kind of thing. You can see that there is like behind some of the little pots and random containers, they have like this really ornate looking shield that has a sort of gold, almost like lattice work that seems to shimmer and catch the light from the candles inside. It's called Grom's Gilded Beauties.
I am going to enter Grom's Gilded Beauties.
Alright. As you enter the door, you instantly are treated to the smell of incense and candles in the air. It's a very warm and welcoming atmosphere. This shop almost feels like someone's home. And in the back, behind the counter, there's a couple of shelves that have, you know, their various ornamental pieces. Let's go ahead and stop some of this since you are now inside. But on the inside, you can see that there is indeed a open, almost like a kitchen, where you can see that there is a man and a young woman. Looks probably like father-daughter kind of a feel to it. That currently the father is like watching his daughter at work as she seems to be carefully laying out this gold work over this really almost mirror-like surface of this shield. He seems to be kind of muttering and telling her like little pointers. Behind them, further in the back, you can see through one of the open doorways that there is two young men that look like they are loading or unloading a cart filled with like ores and stuff and like putting them into containers and baskets. And as the door closes behind you, you hear the father, without turning, just a moment. And then he like gives one last pointer and turns around and sees you like walking inside and goes, welcome. How may I be of service?
You're Grom?
Yes, I am Grom. This is my family.
This is a wonderful little shop you have.
Thank you very much. What brings you to Grom's Gilded Beauties?
Oh, I'm just looking for something for a friend, maybe.
Sure.
Have you been in business long?
He looks over at his daughter and it's like, well, the children were born here, so I suppose it's been some time.
So you came to Procampur from somewhere else?
From the countryside. I'm not quite native to Procampur, but close enough.
Well, I'm not a native either, so we have that in common.
Oh, where do you come from? A visitor, I'm assuming.
Out towards Waterdeep.
Oh, quite a ways. You can see his face kind of darkens a little bit. You came safely?
Oh, yes. No trouble. Can I do an insight check to see kind of what might be spooking him?
Sure.
Okay. 15.
Not really sure at what point. It seemed more like when you mentioned you came from Waterdeep that he kind of just like, it wasn't like spooking as much as it was concern. And maybe a little bit of attention to that.
Gotcha. Well, getting that vibe from him.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kind of turn my attention to some of his wares.
Okay. Make a I mean, just if you want to kind of just browse around kind of just for a moment, or just to kind of see
I'll
what
say
he's got.
something to him as I'm just kind of
Sure.
looking. Do you have any, I'm not sure the exact word for it, but like motion art?
Like little metal toys, perhaps. That's, I think I know what you mean.
Medic.
He kind of comes around the countertop and comes over to where you're at and like moves, kind of beckons you over to another display where you do see a couple like those like kinetic style little clockwork things.
Like anything that would move with the wind, or maybe a wind chimes?
I mean, if you want wind chimes, like we don't have any currently on display, but if you are in town for a day or so, we can, I'm sure, craft something to your liking and specifications. This one here is, and he kind of points one, kind of looks like a little windmill styled thing.
I take a look at it and pick it up. If it's pick-upable.
Yeah, it's like a small, it's like about the size of a mug or so, but it is like a very intricate little clockwork piece, and it does has a very, very thin metal, almost looking sails to the windmill itself.
Do you have to wind this to run it, or I kind of blow on the sails?
You blow on the sails and it just starts spinning slowly, and you can hear the mechanisms on the inside kind of like tick, 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 is like kind of starts to keep its own rhythm as it goes.
Oh, This is really wonderful. I think this is what I want.
It was one of Thena's creations, and he points back over to his daughter that's like currently like laying guild work, and hearing her name, she kind of looks up and waves a little meekly, and then goes back to doing what she's doing.
Wave back at her. She's very talented.
It is a gift that runs in the family for the most part. My Athena, though, she's more gifted than most. He kind of smiles, that warm, beaming smile of a father.
I can't help but smile with him.
You hear the door open behind you. And those like two individuals walk in. Not particularly like super suspicious, but they definitely have like they have like a short, almost chest level cowl that kind of covers parts of their faces. Probably about 5.5 feet tall. But you definitely feel the Grom's like gets a little puffed out a little bit. I'll be with you in a moment, he says. He's like, take a look and see if this is something that you would be interested in or not. I think there are plenty of other little devices that might suit your fancy.
Of course. You mind if I peruse for a little while?
Of course, be my guest. And he kind of turns and like goes to attend to the two other individuals.
I try to pay attention to what's going on there.
Sure. Make a perception check for me.
Come on, Iskra, pay attention. I believe in you. Hey, all right. 17 this time.
17? Okay. The individuals you hear as they speak, they're not speaking out loud. It seems like they have a sort of mask over their face. But as they speak, you can hear one of the individuals. So, we hear you have special talents in this room. You can hear the dad's like, well, yes, we have plenty of goods. What else would you be interested in? Anything in particular that we can interest people of the Empire? You can hear like the heightened tension in his voice.
I try to make sure that my face is canted in a way that I'm trying to catch what I'm hearing.
Yeah.
But not looking directly at the guys.
You know why we've come, Grom. It is time for your daughter to join us. We need people of her talents.
It's like, she is not going to be one that you are going to want for your armies, or she is not talented in any sort of magical way that would benefit your purposes.
I'm gonna pick up something and walk over to Grom and try to purchase it right now.
Okay. As you walk over to Grom, go ahead and make another perception check for me.
That's just a 10.
10. Still, it's good enough that in the brief moment when you come up to him, and he kind of, you can see that his posture is kind of more defensive than it was before. He like sees you coming towards him and just kind of nods, looks in your direction.
It's like, I think I will go ahead and buy this windmill.
As you kind of look between Grom and the two people that walk in, you notice that their faces are masked indeed, and they're masks that you recognize. Masks that you have seen before as members of the Iron Shadow, a hobgoblin-based monk-like order within the Thayan Empire. But they make no move to look at you. They're very slitted, like eyed mast just seem to be staring intently at Grom, and Grom's like, we will speak in a moment. Let me attend to my customer first. And the two individuals don't say anything, but they allow him to Grom to like move away behind the counter.
I'll take this and the other order that you were working on for me. Do you mind if I come back and get it myself?
You'll see him swallow.
I look at him and kind of dart my eyes back towards where his daughter's working.
Nods slowly and then swallows, and you can see as his hands reach down to grab out like a little lockbox. His hands are like starting to shake. Of course. We are in front of before schedule. He's stumbling over his words. I can just prepare it for you if you wish. But you don't have to wait inside. You can wait outside, and I'm sure I will bring it out to you momentarily. I would hate for you to get involved in this.
Too late. I whisper back at him.
Okay.
I really have to insist. I need to ensure the condition is good before we move it out of here. If just take me back for a moment. I'm sorry about this, gentlemen. This is really urgent.
Okay. Come see. I want to make sure that we did this correctly according to your specifications. Come. And he, you can see the two individuals move up to the counter behind where you had been as you were led back into that little workshop area and then into like a little back area behind the thing, behind the wall where you hadn't seen before. The girl, Athena, stays up front and kind of still working on. And as you were passing by, you can see as her hand glides over the metal, the gold that is being overlaid on the shield is just like almost melting in with the silver in a very smooth way. It's almost like her hand itself is causing this heat to meld the gold along the silver. And she just doesn't seem to be paying any attention to anything else that's going on except for this. But the father pulls you back behind the wall and instantly like grabs your hand. Please, you must go. We can take care of this. They will see you have come so far and escaped so much already. To go through this once again. I apologize profusely.
Now
Nikki,
that they know
Petros.
you're here, you're not going to be able to stay here, and neither's your daughter. You need to come with me right now. I'll get you out of here.
I am just supposed to leave my shop?
Do you think that I can fight them and beat them? I'm sure, but there'll be more.
I would not ask. No, you, and just kind of like gestures up and down at you. It's like, you cannot possibly try and hold out against these. These are the Iron Shadow. They come and they see people that might be of use to the Empire. All they must have heard was that Athena uses magic to help me with my shop. There's no way that she can be of any use to the Empire. I must simply explain to them, and I'm sure it will be fine. You hear from the other side of the wall, Mr. Grom. The two boys that were like putting stuff away have now like noticed that there is this awkward tension and a stranger behind the shop. I come over. Papa, what is going on? And he starts like talking really quickly in what you assume is like one of the native dialects.
I'm gonna message the crew.
Okay.
I've got a situation in the Red Roof District. Thans are trying to abduct a little girl.
Oh, how did you get all the way over there?
I just headed straight here. I can't talk right now.
How far are you?
Grom's gilded goods, gilded gifts. I keep paying attention to the conversation going on.
Is she within earshot of Sol and I?
With
the Spies Murmur?
Spies Murmur is what, a mile? Or 5?
Just looked at it. That being said,
I think it's 5. I want to say it's got a bit of a range.
Renan is already
1 mile.
out the door.
Okay, we'll get to where you guys are at in a minute.
It's 1 mile.
1 mile? Okay, then yeah, I would imagine probably just within enough.
Galil, Iskra is dealing with the situation.
You guys are all together.
Right, but he doesn't have a Spies Murmur.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, he does.
No.
Oh, Galil. Never mind.
No, he doesn't have his...
Only one I can talk to my head is Kindred.
We may need to wait on this secret shop for the now.
Where did she say she was?
Gilded gifts, Grimm's gilded something, I don't...
Grom's gilded goods.
I'm on my way.
Do you, Renan, do you even know where that is?
Right, we can ask around and see if we can...
Yeah,
And what's the plan once y'all get her?
You are in an open hallway, like an alley that is currently following behind Kaolin, and Renan just like whoosh takes off into the air in the alleyway, and you see Kaolin turn around and like watch him like fly off and just like, okay, and keeps walking.
Iskra, how much time do you think you have?
No time at all.
What is nearby?
Metal workers. I'm trying to split my attention between both things.
It's like telling them, like he keeps explaining to them, and they keep arguing back with him, and then he's like, "Stay with her," and then he's just like, "Shh," and then goes back around the corner to the front.
Is Iskra still holding that little? Iskra's holding my pendant, right? Still on her neck.
Yeah, I'm still wearing it.
So I cast detect magic, and I'm gonna like glance around to see if I see that like anywhere.
Detect magic has a range of
30 feet.
30 feet.
Oh, only 30 feet?
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. Damn, never mind.
That would have been one hell of a potent detect magic.
That was like,
locate.
You need is
locate item. Yeah. Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I do need that. Oh, I don't have that.
Given that we know that she's in the red roof district.
Yeah. Once you get up to like past the roofs that you are around, you can make a perception check to try and figure out where you're going.
There are none. How far are we away from that area, you think?
Weren't we headed to the red roof?
No.
We were heading into an alleyway.
You are in an alleyway.
We are in an alleyway already.
You're kind of actually at the moment you can't even see where you are because you've stayed in the alleyways for like a couple of turns now at this point.
Iskra, I'm gonna check up on you.
A 26?
Yeah.
Okay. So you fly up past the rooftops, flapping your wings as hard as you can to gain as much distance into the air as you possibly can. Quickly, your eyes dart around. You can see now from this height that there are different sections of the city with different colored roofs, and you can see
What's your elf eyes?
and you can see on the far side from where you are at the red roof district with like it kind of comes in like bits and patches because there's several large like plumes of smoke that seem to be rising from that side of the city, as it is kind of close to the bazaar and the harbor side.
So knowing Iskra is about to do something, downstairs, I'm gonna call Sol to me, if he's not already with me, pull out my orb and start scrying on Iskra.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sol meets yep.
Go ahead. What were you gonna say?
Yeah, he meets with Kindred.
I need anything that I can use to find your location, Iskra. Quickly.
So Soul, I can't communicate, but I'll call out what I see once I go into this spell. But I'm checking on Iskra.
Okay.
The two boys, one of them, the taller of the two, comes up in front of you and kind of stands with his back to you, but facing the doorway. And you see the slightly younger, the slightly shorter, maybe like it looks like oldest boy, middle boy, and then the youngest daughter. The middle boy goes and starts like pulling out boxes, looking and rummaging through things. What are you doing, Iskra?
Your dad thinks he can negotiate with these guys, but he can't.
My papa is very smart. He knows what he's doing.
And he's just kind of like listening. And then the other little brother is like pulls out a box, and you can see as he like flips it open, there's some like decorative looking scimitars. Then he like closes the box and like shoves them further into the back and puts a couple other boxes like in front of him or in front of it as well, trying to like cover it up as best as he can. He instead like goes to the table and grabs a hammer.
You might want to grab some of those in case you need them.
We cannot. They are special order for the princess.
For who?
It's a long story.
And he like grabs a mallet that he like is used for like smoothing out and pounding metal, but they both seem to be just like listening to what's going on the other side of the room. What are you doing?
If he's not gonna cooperate, then I'm gonna go back out to the front and see what's going on up there.
Okay. So you come around the corner and you can see that the Grom is at the counter currently, and the two Iron Shadow are like side by side in front, facing you guys. Their attention now is focused on the girl, and the girl still is just like hand over, just like smoothly guiding and doing her work. And you see the father's like, she only knows metalwork. She'll be of no use to the Empire, I swear to you. She cannot possibly learn the kind of things that you are wanting her to learn. And they just stay silent and they're just kind of watching her. What are you doing?
Probably about to
Iskra, where am I going?
I try to think of a distinguishing feature outside the building.
I have an idea. Kindred, tell Oreo to go find Iskra. She knows the scent.
About to start my spell. You interrupted me right before. Good thing you did. I look over to Oreo, and Galil said to go find Iskra. You have her scent?
It just kind of like does this little like head cock to the side.
Then like common, right?
Sorry, hold on. And then Soul relays that message to Oreo.
And like you grab Oreo by the tufts, and using your druidic language, the Oreo seems like you can see the hair on the back of her neck kind of rise. She's like moves and paws at the door trying to get out.
Ooh. Okay.
Mage hand, open door.
I have an idea.
All right, the door. The Oreo bounds out, and you guys are doing what? Kindred and Soul.
I'm gonna follow. Soul's gonna follow Oreo.
Okay.
Wait, you're leaving, Soul?
Yeah, Iskra needs our help. As I'm like walking or leaving.
Okay. Kindred, what are you doing?
Packing up my shit again and heading out the door with Soul.
Okay.
Wait, come here, and wait, are both concentration? Continue for now.
Okay. Iskra, what's your idea? What are you doing?
I'm gonna walk back over to the Iron Shadow and face them this time and say, perhaps I wasn't clear before. Gentlemen, that's my order. And I look at the girl.
Oh shit.
Okay. All right.
So I would have told Soul, turn into a cat, and I'm gonna polymorph into an owl, and we're gonna go up and head toward the red tile or look for it.
Okay. All right. So you guys polymorph into animals and fly off, following
What do I need to roll
Oreo.
for Oreo?
Perception. If she has advantage on smells, I don't remember if Oreo has advantage on
She
smells.
does. On smells and sight.
Okay, cool. So you go do that. Iskra, as you stand there, would you go ahead and roll intimidation? Because that was like hella badass.
That's great.
Hey,
24.
all right.
24? Okay.
Hell yeah.
Unnatural 20. So
Unnatural 20?
hopefully
All right.
unnatural. Manufactured 20.
All right. So you, as you kind of stand there, you almost hear like Grom's stomach hit the floor as he just like, as you stand there and say this. One of the Iron Shadow just slowly turns its iron masked face over to you. And who might you be?
What's
Your sister's name? Or
no
something? No.
history check to remember what
Oh.
Kindred. You know what? Forget that. Kindred, what was your Thayan name?
I've already polymorphed. Wait, it's
Oh, it's telepathic. Oh, yeah, but I don't think we ever let. Yeah, we can't. Oh,
Because yeah, I've already yeah.
yeah.
Too late for that.
No.
You just
You
hear a
get
bunch
no
of screeches.
response. You get no
History check.
responses. Sure. For what her the Thayan name was, like the
What did we call
rank?
her when we were faking
Oh,
who we
Valindra?
were in Silvery Moon?
Valindra?
Rebecca
No.
Phalanges.
Wasn't it? Oh.
I want to
don't
say
even-
it, but I'm not.
Say it because I do not remember that was so long
Charlena.
ago. Oh yeah.
Oh, that's right. It wasn't even actually someone who's Thayan.
Yeah, no, it
I
wasn't.
thought it was something banana hammock.
But you can roll to see if you remember that.
All right,
Yeah,
here you go.
let's say you beat a 15.
No, I don't remember it.
Okay.
Um,
In the heat of the moment, it makes sense because you were just like, you say whatever you want comes to your mind.
Okay, well, I better say something soon then.
Yep.
Lady went off.
Am I over the Red Roof district already?
The last thing
You're
you'll
flying
ever
in that
see.
direction. It's the only bit. This is whole exchange is probably taken like 10, 15 seconds at this point.
Yeah.
So you're heading that way.
And we're following Oreo with
Oreo.
Soul on my back.
And Oreo roll day
24.
24. Okay, making sure. Kind of.
And I'm gonna
She's like starts circling around the area, then like takes a dive kind of low towards the bazaar, and the two of you kind of follow.
If need be, I'll keep an eye out for the red roof and then Grom's Gilded Goods as well.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check. Well, not yet. We'll just hold off on that. Iskra, what are you doing?
I'm gonna say the name of my master is none of your concern. I'm sure that your order understands this as well as I do.
You see this, like, the head kind of tilts a little bit. So you are here for the girl as well.
Quite.
Whom do you serve?
It's hard, huh? Put on the spot.
Right?
History check to remember.
Just
Yeah, I could just,
They
I just
amaranth.
need to think of any Thayan at this point. And I
Amaranth.
can't say any of them because it wasn't coming
Yeah.
to mind. I'm not gonna meta game.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a 17.
17. Your name kind of backtracks to the only few people that you have known from the Empire. You think of Neferu, you know of Atet, you're like, no, that's ridiculous. You know Amaranth because she was one of the Reds. Your mind goes to the one Red Wizard who was obliterated at the Mythal, that's name I also forgot.
Right.
Aaron and Laz.
Shoot,
Tyrion Laz. You can just say whatever comes to mind.
well, shit, I didn't want to invoke Amaranth because that kind of gives us away, but
Lucia.
What about not Winoff?
That was her name.
it's too late.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
So we're gonna say
I'd say Amaranth.
Amaranth.
Oh, fuck.
Make a persuasion check.
It's either gonna go really great or really bad.
Right.
We were supposed to be.
Thank God. This is a high roll, so hopefully it works. And I'm trained in persuasion. So 25.
They rolled a 3.
Okay.
The mask
Very
turns to Grom. Then back to you. Then we suggest you make your purchase quickly. We will be leaving soon. Make your delivery outside the city by dawn tomorrow. Or we will find you and her. The Iron Shadow back up a little bit and head back out towards the door. You can see Grom is just there, like his eyes wide, looking between you and them. And then as they open the door, one exits and one stops at the door, looking back at you one last time. This emotionless mask of iron staring at you before the door closes behind it and it walks outside.
As they do that, though,
Okay.
they're walking out the door.
Yeah.
I'm going to go ahead and
She goes like this. She goes,
What?
use my pendant of aqueous form, and I'm going to turn into water, and I'm going to tail them as a puddle of water until there's somewhere that I know that Renan can pick them up.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So, you as soon as you wait until the door closes.
Yeah, because then I'll just slip under.
Okay. So the door closes and Grom turns to you and is like, "What are you doing? What have you done?"
Just taking care of this, and then
And then just like that, whoosh, Iskra becomes watery formed as she like falls to the ground and
All I
starts
can
oozing.
think of is Sky High, the popsicle.
The good guy.
Just
all right, well,
falls
I
to the
think
ground.
of Secret World of Alec Mack.
right.
And starts, and you, how do you say it? You don't walk, you ooze your way out.
I guess so.
You ooze
Puddle.
your way out, you puddle your way.
Gelatinously slither.
You stream, yeah, you slither, whatever. You move your way out of the building and
You
I was
saw the
supposed
same
to
fit
walking
under the
speed,
door.
or
I mean,
Sluice. You sluice your
it
way.
doesn't say anything about my speed being any different. So.
Yeah.
Just around the river bend.
the loopholes.
No. Yeah, exactly. Loopholes, yo.
Gotta abuse them while you have them.
We
Avoid
already
the
hinted
gutters.
that the way Iskra.
At this
Everyone.
point, Renan should be over the area that somewhere around the roof district. You start making these like flying circles. Make a perception check for me.
Do I see Renan?
Make a perception check for me. As you
At advantage.
22.
Natural fucking 20.
ooh, nice.
Oh yeah.
Rolled a 19, and they have perception plus 3, so 22.
22? Okay. I would say, yeah, you probably notice Renan. Renan, you also notice with that there are several of this town guard that are now like stopped and pointing up at your direction. But you do see whereabouts, like the area you kind of find, you find the red roofed district. Where are you gonna land, or just kind of scan for, make a couple low passes for that building in particular?
Probably make a couple of low passes. Meanwhile, attempting to communicate with Iskra.
Can
Where-
I communicate over the spies murmur
Probably
while I
not.
am water?
Probably
Yeah.
not, since you are in a different form, we'll say.
Yeah, I don't
Just
know.
hear a bunch of water, like
Sander, is that you?
I don't know
Wait,
if
I
y'all can
speak
hear that or not.
primordial. Maybe I understand.
Oh no.
You would sound like primordial, I guess.
I think it would be
Be Aquan.
elemental. Oh yeah.
Aquan, yeah.
Yeah.
He's speaking in Aquan.
So we'll start making our way
Alright.
towards Renan, but
Yeah, so you fly towards
keeping-
Renan. Renan.
yeah,
Yeah, so I'm gonna make some low passes trying to find the building itself.
Okay. You go ahead and, what was the perception check you rolled a minute ago? 22. I would say you notice a couple of the buildings that are the places that she had described, and you kind of get a general idea where it might be close. So at this point, it's probably best if you try to get on foot before you, because too low and it's gonna be a little harder to navigate safely.
Okay, so I land, and what was the name of the shop again?
Grom's Gilded Goods.
Grum's Gilded
So,
Beauties.
I land and putting on my best face with somebody that I see that's nearby. I just kind of
You can see them kind of just like, oh.
I just kind of hoosa. And
Yeah.
then I walk up. Do any of you know where I can find Grom's Gilded Goods? A friend of mine recommended it.
I do believe so. If you go that way, and then he points down the path from where you're at.
Many thank yous.
Of course, and they kind of give you this like curious look. Meanwhile, behind you, 2 winged beasts just kind of like whoosh, 3 winged beasts just kind of go whoosh 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 past you.
3?
Or Oreo,
Uh-huh.
Me.
you.
Oh, can't fly.
So what are you?
Can't
He's
fly
a,
till level
he's a
8.
tiny cat.
Oh, I thought you both had turned into
Already
flying
know.
creatures. That's why. Okay.
No, just me, but he's on my back.
Okay.
It's the
Oh my
first thing I
gosh,
could think
this
of
is
that's
very-
like tiny.
It's like very
Either
Kiki's
back or
delivery
beans.
service. Yeah, very Kiki's delivery service right now. Just like
Yeah.
tiny black cat meow flies by.
Surfing on the bird.
Yeah, so then if we heard that, I just keep flying in the direction they pointed. To
I don't think you would have heard that from that distance, but you
I
see
have
Renan landing
advantage
on
on things requiring sight and hearing.
so
I
you
have
can make
keen hearing and sight.
sure. Go ahead and make a roll if you wish. Just try and
Okay,
listen
doke.
to that.
Do not roll a 1.
Taking care of business.
So
It's pretty
it's
high
Every
DC.
day.
15 and a 6.
Okay. You hear him asking, but in the speed at which you were traveling still, it's difficult to make out. Well, you just see that he starts like turning in a direction as you guys pass by overhead.
Gotcha. So we'll just keep following Renan.
Sure. Renan, as you are walking forward, you see there's like a couple of different people that are walking about in the street, but you do see the Gilded Goods. Iskra, you are trailing these individuals.
Yeah, I'm trying
really
to
good
follow them.
descriptive I like
Okay.
that word.
All right, so as you sluice your way around, as unassuming as you can be as a puddle of water, this is so weird territory. Make a perception check as water. So you're like trying
Water sees all.
just trying to follow.
I finally roll a good perception check for once. Artificial 20.
Okay. You see as they kind of like walk out into the avenue, but stick to the edges by the buildings. They kind of go for about a building or two before they turn into an alleyway.
2 eyeballs popping out of the water puddle and just like,
bloop bloop. Bloop, bloop. You got the movie eyes, you know, those little googly eyes.
yeah.
Okay. It takes 12 seconds for me to reform if I concentrate, but I'm gonna try to reform
Okay.
into myself and follow them down the alley.
Okay. As you go off, I'm assuming not just in the middle of the street.
Yeah,
you
not
kinda
just
try
in
and
the middle of the
find
street.
a spot where you can start to reform your body, kind of oozing back into its form. Renan, you find the goods store. What are you doing?
I go inside, still having no idea that Iskra has made it out yet.
Right. You open the door, and you see a very empty, like, devoid of people. You just see the shop, but there's still like this feeling of like tension that still is left in the air. And you
Avoiding-
hear a shout from the back. Oh, sorry, we're closed.
And in Elvish, avoiding using her real name, I walk through the door and I say in Elvish, "Wind dance?" Question mark.
Oh, okay. Just saying it out loud. Wind dance.
Yeah.
Probably not too far away, Iskra. You might be will have heard this before. Doosh, 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 doosh. A large, like tiger-striped cat creature with wings starts prowling near your form as you just slowly form yourself back into Iskra. It comes over and like licks your liquid face, which kind of like makes your face distort for a minute before it like solidifies.
That's gross.
So do I see
Drink.
Renan go into the store and Oreo go to Iskra?
You just see Oreo going forward. You don't know where he's going, but you see Renan enter the door.
Follow Oreo.
Okay, so then you see Oreo stops like the next building over behind some crates, and then you can see Iskra's like reforming herself, like getting up Terminator style from like liquid form as it like
Which is cool because
reforms herself.
Kindred, now you're the first person who've actually seen me do that.
Me too.
So then
Wait, no, I don't know if I saw or not.
we'll land in like a nearby tree branch, and I'll kind of like let Soul hop off my back, and like be weird as an owl to like try to get Iskra's attention. Like,
You see this owl that's just like, woo, woo.
I'm pretty sure I can figure out
Yeah.
that's somebody I know.
Yeah, probably.
wait, do you see like a cat next to it too?
Yeah,
Who's looking at Kindred very judgedly. Like,
just like. No, you're good. Okay, so
Just
I'm
randomly
gonna
going
say
off.
into the spy's murmur.
as now that you're starting,
Now
now
that
that you've
I-
reformed,
once I
yeah.
can.
Yeah.
2 Iron Shadow just went down that hallway or alleyway.
Be
I
careful.
take off,
Where are you going?
flying to try to find them and then keep tabs on them.
Okay.
all
They
in
can
the
hide in
fucking,
the
like,
shadows.
tree.
'Cause I just want to know where they're going to be.
You fly over the alleyway that she had pointed, Kindred. Make a perception check for me.
Ooh, thank God I have advantage. One was a 1, then a 15, so 18.
18. All right. Peeking into the alleyways, you like fly overhead. You see shadows upon shadows, but no one.
I'll just kind of do a wide circle and then just
Sure.
land like in a tree somewhere.
Okay. This section of the doesn't really have any trees, but you do find like a perch on like one of those fake Western balconies, kind of outside of a window, and you kind of overlook a little 4-way intersection, kind of peering down as you
And then I'll
watch
just-
some of the passerbys.
Just try to keep an eye out for any shadow.
Okay. You keep looking. You see a couple of individuals walking about, but no one that looks like an Iron Shadow. Renan, you come back out of the building to see Iskra standing there with Oreo. Just
So-
a little ways down.
Quick question.
Sure.
Even as polymorphed, would Rary's telepathic bonds work? Because it's telepathic.
Since that one is like a spell and not so much a magic item that you have to use, then yes.
Okay.
Sure.
So I will relay to Galil. Long story short, I'm an owl. I went ahead. I can't find them. We lost them. But I'm perched up on this perch. I don't see where they're at. And I'm just keeping an eye out.
Up
Gotta
into
end
this.
every sentence with who?
Soul's a cat. Soul came with me. He's a cat, by the way. I left him
You
with Iskra.
left me on a tree, though.
You're a cat. You can climb with Iskra.
I'm already on the top of the tree. It's a cat.
There's no tree. Wait, what tree? I'm like, there's no tree.
Back when we first saw Iskra.
Oh.
He said he landed on a branch.
Oh, yeah. No, there's no trees nearby. But it would have been an appropriate like hype spot. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
On a building. Okay. So, Iskra, what are you doing? Oh, before we, Aliquin, Galil, and Sonder, are you guys still following Kowlin?
I was like, what? Yeah.
Okay, just want to make sure.
I was going to say, in the spies memo, to make sure that we remain unassuming, we need to keep a low profile.
Okay.
And then try to head that way.
Oh, you're gonna leave?
I was gonna leave.
I was gonna stay.
Okay.
You were?
I was. I message Iskra like as all this is happening. Well, you can leave at any time. Just to her like as all this is happening.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I know in the back of my mind she is safe. If
Yeah.
something does happen, she just says bump this and disappears.
True.
So
Too
I'm
many
gonna
people there. That's gonna cause an issue. So
no, exactly. So I'm gonna stay with Galil because
Okay.
I'm gonna message everybody else now that this has all happened
Okay.
and go, I resolved the immediate danger.
That was fast.
well
What
it's
happened?
you. So
Yeah. True.
I wasn't worried at all.
Breathing
happened to
hard,
Kind of doing aw shucks to myself.
completely ignoring the spies murmur, not trying to communicate with anyone, just somewhat out of breath after rushing across
We're
the
flying
city.
the city.
Having completely forgotten to try to use common whatsoever in Elvish again. Wind dance just scared the hell out of me. Oh yeah.
Thanks for showing up so quickly.
Oreo just like purrs and like rubs herself on your leg, Iskra, but like is keeping her head like moving around as if she kind of understands that there's like this tension.
It's like, I almost wish I would have started that fight.
Soul motions to catch because he's gonna jump.
Okay.
I relate briefly what went down.
All right. With Renan.
In the spice
Or the
murmurs,
spice
everyone
murmur?
can hear
Okay. Okay. Everyone but Galil. Got it.
What do we want to do with the girl?
And what do we want to do with the Iron Masked?
it.
I tell
Well-
Galil, tell them hopefully nothing, and we keep the peace for the night.
Right. Like she said,
I'm just gonna relay it to Eloquent, whispering, of course.
if
I
we
kinda
can
like-
get rid of her.
I kind of
Cal-
whispered back at Galil, where's this guy taking us, by the way?
And as
No
you're doing it,
idea.
I was gonna say, Kellen finally comes around, and you find yourself back at the bazaar, but in this like you have taken so many turns, and it's like a different section that you hadn't seen before.
Yeah, I wasn't paying attention the whole time.
It's just
That,
kinda like
I
he's
was like
kinda
paying
like-
attention to what was
it's-
happening. I wasn't paying attention where I was going.
Yeah, it's kind of been one of those like he's kind of
I have-
led you around in circles.
I have the child leash on him.
This way. But you find yourself back in the bazaar, in a section of bazaar, a little quieter. It doesn't seem to be a big central like market style place. This section is a little more like the off the side kind of area where there's a little quiet cafes that you can see more of the locals tend to hang out versus the other area that's more like the hustle and bustle of near the harbor. This is a little calmer of a space. But Kowlin continues to walk across. the way past a couple of like tables at a cafe, and you see that there is a staircase that is in the ground, like how it leads down along the side of this building, and he starts stepping down the stairs, and like looks behind him to see if you're still following, then kind of just like continues down the stairway.
Galil, are y'all on your way? Are y'all coming? Where are y'all at?
I think we're gonna go shopping. As I like
Okay.
follow this guy down.
Y'all can't hear me.
Yeah, only I
Oh
can.
yeah.
It's only Galil.
Oh, okay.
We're still following this guy to some shop.
Okay.
Everyone else should be close to Iskra, though.
Sonder, you left, right? Or
Yeah.
you staying? Okay.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if Sandra made it yet, though. So
Okay. Sonder,
I'll take. Oh, go ahead.
you are looking for the Red Roof District, right?
Mm-hmm.
Make a perception check for me.
That 20.
Nice.
Pretty easily. The crowd seems to just part like the Red Sea before you, and you see on the far side the glimmering, like red roof tiles of that district. They seem to be catching the night light coming from the various like not candles, but the night lights that they have out. I cannot think of the word. Lanterns. Thank you.
I'm gonna walk into an alley and like jump up the walls and then do that thing and just kind of make my way to the Red Roof District that way. Stealthily.
Yeah. Go ahead and make a stealth check for me. Galil and Aliquin, as you start heading down the stairs, you see that there is a doorway there. Very plain looking wooden door that almost blends in with the same sandy color as the walls that are around it. Above the door. 16? Okay. Write this down so I don't forget.
wow, we wouldn't have ever noticed this.
Yeah, it's kind of, well, because it's out in the open basically. I mean, it's not like it's hidden because it's in this like bizarre area, but it's so unassuming because it's just there. It just looks like some, maybe
normal.
going, it looks like you're going into like the basement of the building that it's next to. But above the door, there is this large wooden plaque banner that kind of stretches over the doorway, and it looks old and like it's cracked and weathered. And there is some paint that still remains over the weathered carving that is across the front. And it's this strange cat that like is like sitting and has its head kind of to the side, but you see that its face is like upside down. There's like where its mouth is, there is like a nose, but the mouth is like above its eyes, and the eyes are kind of like too wide on its head. It's a really, really strange looking creature. And
Have I seen it in like any book or anything, or is it just graffiti art?
You hope that you haven't. there is some sort of scrawled like flowy script that is over the top, but it is unreadable to both of you at the moment. But you can make a nature check to see if you recognize this animal.
Nature. Okay.
While he's doing that, off subject,
Unum's cat.
I'm messing around with my oracle cards, and the first card I pull out is a fucking Wolverine.
Yes.
Oh. So I got a 23.
23
for my nature check.
It looks like a
Nice.
cat, but if like a cat got like kicked in the face and it's all of its like features were just like thrown in a blender.
Is that
Looking
thing
at-
real, or
I'm just looking at the sign like that's some really good marketing skills. As I keep on walking.
Yeah, the Kowlin opens the door. You heard as you approached, because he had stopped to kind of let you catch up. You heard as you approached that there was like a little bit of some clicking that went on, like he had been unlocking something. But you see and heard no keys as he like pushes the door open. You see it's just like a smooth door. There was no lock, key, or hole or knob that he could have unlocked with. But you swear you heard like some sort of metallic unlocking. He gestures inside. Welcome.
So Galil, we probably don't have much more time left on this. Where are you at?
We're back at the bazaar.
Okay, I need specifics that way we can track you if need be.
Are you coming in or no?
Yeah, I'm coming.
Anything.
Well, Elliot, Alec will let you know.
Shit. Crazy upside down cat face as I like walk in the.
You walk in the door and he closes it behind you. And with that, we're gonna go to break real quick. Give us a moment to like wind down from a really freaking tense situation. Oh man, I
kind of wanted to fail that persuasion. I was ready to fight.
I was not expecting it to roll so
crashing
low.
through a roof.
It was like
Again.
2. They rolled a 2. It was just it was bad.
I will
How
say,
is
Battle
why
in
is
the metal
everyone
worker shop,
going
that would have been
there?
amazing.
of all
Why
the
is-
people to like go fly to someone, me and Soul were the perfect pair.
All I
Yes.
just imagine is like someone sitting on a balcony sipping their like evening espresso or whatever, and they just see giant winged tiger go whoosh, followed by an owl with a cat on its back. Just goes by really quickly.
And a giant winged man.
Giant winged
And a
man
giant
overhead.
winged-
It's like they like look down at
It's
their
a
drink, like
family.
Like, what was
set it
in this
down, like,
coffee?
oh man, I have had too much. Time for bed.
Too much
No
absinthe.
more. No more. Yeah, I need a drink too.
Okay, so with that, we are going to go to break. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Don't go anywhere. We will try and be here
Finally.
again. Alive. We are alive still. Yay! Okay, we are back. We back. Mwahaha. All right. So, let me change some of this real quick.
Okay, so no. We walk into this crazy, scary place. No.
I would never. I would never.
Welcome to our shop.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Suddenly vampires.
It's like, so we're gonna find a lot of stuff for him, but not for me.
Dude,
I wears.
Got it.
the shopkeeper rises from his coffin.
yeah.
Elephant is
I do
like
not go.
so happy
blah,
right
blah,
now.
blah.
Elephant is so happy right now.
Yeah.
He's just running down.
And I'm over here like praying.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Because,
This has tentacles on it. Look at it.
ooh,
fun
sushi.
Oh my god. Okay.
Lil Nas X rises from his
Oh.
coffin.
Got me when you want me.
I knew it was gonna come up at some point. In
Oh.
This
today's
is a demon lord.
Is this a stripper pole?
Oh my god. Okay. So.
Bro, for stripper pole.
All right. So.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. Aliquin
18.
and Galil, as you are led into this area, even this one is a little on the like. Okay.
Keep it. I like it. Oh.
I was actually digging it too.
Yeah,
so.
it was like super
Okay.
dramatic.
All right,
but
we'll
yeah.
go back. We'll go back.
I mean,
Classical.
you're okay with it.
Yeah, I mean, hey, I was just like, I didn't want to build up too much tension. There wasn't too much tension yet, but sure, if you like it. Seemingly, as you go into this passageway, you are led into what appears to be a quiet undercity. This door opens into what almost looks like an alley inside of an underground city, but the roof is not but probably 60 feet above you, or the ground is not but 60 feet above you. But you see that there are these short, squat little buildings that kind of fit into this narrow, almost canal that fills this alleyway. Small little houses line the passage before you. Short little buildings with like barely but porthole sized windows, some of them flickering with light from the inside, some of them dark.
So as I start walking from that door to wherever we go, can I like judge the distance of like from where we were to like how far we're going?
Sure. I'm gonna make a survival check.
Upside down, face cat, going down a doorway, underground city. That's all I say to Kindred.
So survival is going to be a 14.
14.
Thanks.
I mean,
I'll take note.
the way you kind of curved out into this hallway or this alleyway and out into this little thoroughfare where it has all these buildings that are kind of like lined up. The canal is not super wide, but it does look like this maybe had one time been some sort of like water holding area, or maybe some sort of sewer. Being this close to the harbor, maybe it was for water like pouring in, but now it looks like you can see that there is light that comes in from the closed off ceiling above, where you would imagine there are probably where water goes on the edges of the street. You know what am I thinking of? Gutters.
Sewers?
Yeah, like the little gutter holders on the side of the street. I know that there are words for these that I'm just like, boop.
So lanterns and gutters. Are your
Lanterns are
enemies so
gut.
far.
Oh my god, English is an enemy for me so far. But you do see that there along the pathways, like there are little trickles of streams that kind of like run alongside you as you're walking. There's a couple of people that are close by that like you see like walk past you, but this is definitely a seedy sort of underbelly. Most of the people that you see walking past are hooded or cloaked, or they just kind of like keep their head down, and as you walk past, they just kind of like briefly make the briefest of looks at you and just keep moving. Nobody really says anything, but you do notice that they do kind of like move off to the side as Kowlin walks, and you follow him. And it seems like that is the only reason that some of these people even look at you, is like moving out of Kowlin's way and then seeing who is following behind him just for a briefest moment before they kind of just go about their business.
I notice you have some sort of power down here.
You could say that I am well known. He says
In
over
a
his
good
shoulder
way or bad?
and shrugs, but doesn't reply and just keeps going.
Fair enough.
Sounds safe.
He stops at what appears to be one of the larger indoor hovels. This one, the walls itself seem to hold up parts of the roof as it like goes all the way up to the top. You can see that there are more like shorter rectangular, almost like like in towers where they would use it to like for bows and arrows, those small little slits, but they're just sideways. But only maybe a foot tall, but they go wide by about like 3 or 4 feet. But you can see that there is light from the inside. Some of these even have what looks like some sort of stained glass on the covering them. And there are
For
two.
all intents and purposes, I'm staying alert so no one can mug me or pickpocket me.
Okay, make a perception check.
By the way, I do have
Question.
blind fighting, so
Question.
So, question real quick. So I'm looking at telepathic bond, and it says we can communicate telepathically. But would he be able to like send like thoughts and images to me, or does it have to be actual like
I think
words?
it's just like words.
It doesn't say, so I figured it'd be like a your call.
Yeah, I would imagine it's probably more of a word situation than like.
Okay, just checking.
That'd be cool.
17, by the way.
17. Okay. No one has really come close to you enough to try and do anything like that, but you are keeping
I'm
alert.
gonna stay alert.
There are two like guards, very burly fellows that stand by the door to this place. Kalin doesn't say anything. He just kind of walks up to the step, and one of them like pushes the door open. And as you guys are at the bottom of the step, they kind of just look to you. What are you guys doing?
We follow directly behind.
Yep.
Okie dokie. So,
And they left to go save Iskra.
She would have been fine completely.
I had
Alright.
no worries about her.
Oh, no,
As
she'd
you-
kick my ass.
as
She'll
you
probably
guys,
kick our ass.
Seriously.
let's see here. As you walk up to the door, you like the two men just like their eyes never leave you, and they just kind of watch you as you walk by. You can almost swear you hear one of them just let out this really low growl that just kind of bassy vibrates as he just kind of like snorts at you as you guys walk by. What?
Did anyone sneeze, by the way?
No one sneezed.
Okay.
Let me see if I have.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. That's the only thing that helps me. Because if I see someone sneeze, I'm gonna full on attack.
Yeah,
COVID.
I can imagine. Okay, I don't have this, so we're just gonna go with. On the inside, there is a. Oh, let's do this.
A little dumb question, but Oreo has your scent, right?
Oh yeah. She can find me in a heartbeat.
Should I tell her to head your way?
No, keep her with you guys. I don't want her down here at all.
Well, just that way we can get to you.
Just to head my way, probably, but tell her to stay at the bazaar.
Okay, can actually you tell Aliquin that so he can spice member soul?
Yeah.
And
Can
then
you, yeah, I'll relay it.
And then I relay that.
Oh my god.
Telephone.
And
Yeah, I almost want to make you guys roll to see how well you guys are remembering the messages that you are saying to each
I'm
other.
ready.
he
Oh
said
my God.
something about yeah, okay.
Something about toast and hot dogs. I don't know.
But I-
Kindred said that we need to go get some falafels.
So then with that, I'll take one quick look to see if I spot the shadows, and then I'll head back to where Iskra and everyone else, where I left them.
Okay.
But But as me and Galil are walking in, I kind of like lean into Galil and say yes.
Yes.
And then I nod without, just.
Okay.
Should I be worried? Wait, are you selling my soul to?
Okay, so as you guys are walking inside, you see that this little lounge, this like secret lounge that you have found in this area, has a couple of rather well-off looking individuals who seem to be enjoying themselves at like almost what would appear to be like a hookah bar kind of establishment. You see that there are pillows laid out and all sorts of blankets and rugs that kind of hang from the ceiling, creating these like rooms that you can see through. Some of the curtains that are kind of covered in some ways, or some that are not, and it's definitely a parlor of pleasures. Nothing too intense, but definitely a very loose vibe here. Kalin
Loose.
maneuvers his way around several of these like sunken pillow pits, I guess you could call them. As you kind of walk around from one area to the other, he leads you to the back where you can see that this tavern that you have entered, he leads you to like what almost looks like a back chamber. What are you guys doing?
Gonna. It's in my mouth. Hold on.
Oh, it's spreading.
I feel your pain now.
It's spreading.
So as he's trying to figure out his life, I'm gonna keep following, but I'm gonna be looking at everything because first of all, that's awesome. Hookah bar.
What he's doing.
And I don't know, seeing like
Keeping alert.
Well, I'm saying alert already, but
yeah.
Investigating
taking in
The scenery.
atmosphere
yes.
the vibe
and the
of,
hookah smoke.
Yeah. And
Scouting the perimeter.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right. Go ahead and make perception checks as you guys are
got
walking
you.
through this place.
We got that bond.
4.
4. All right.
I am so.
You
I'm
are
so,
yeah,
like,
see, here's the
Channeling
thing,
me
like,
today, Alec.
Yeah.
You are in the zone and enjoying this like atmosphere.
Everything
that
looks so
it's just-
amazing.
And nothing really sticks out. There are no details that stick out, but you are loving everything that you are seeing.
Yeah.
A 16?
16? Okay.
Because
That's
it reminds me of like when we were going to the circus, like everything was just so like
Oh, the
Lavish.
rectus.
Hey.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything was so like
Flashy.
wow.
Oh, wow.
Danger is everywhere. I love this place.
I know. It's true.
Is this Outriders?
Oh my God.
danger.
So many
All right.
bodies.
All right. So, as you are led to the back, Galil, you do notice there are a couple of the patrons here that kind of like, so most of them pretty much ignore you, as they have either just in their zone or having conversations with whoever they are with. But you do see that there are a couple that look like planted individuals that just kind of sit at tables and just kind of watch you as you walk by.
Can I count how many I can see?
With that
For my
perception check,
passive?
you saw 5. We'll say that there are
Okay.
5 that kind of look like they are just kind of keeping an eye on you as you enter.
At least 5 that I caught.
Kellen brings you to this back room that like he knocks on, and a section of the doorway kind of just goes like opens, and you can see an individual that sees him and then just closes it and unlocks the door as he walks inside this open chamber. You following?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
follow-
gonna take in the hookah.
breathe in, breathe it all in as you go out, walk
Basking in the ambiance.
in. Basking in the ambience. Perfect. You
I
go
miss
in.
hookah.
You go inside, and in this smaller chambers, there is definitely a smaller crowd. Only a couple of people that kind of sit and lean on these various lounges and such.
They all
But-
look human.
Make a perception check as you enter this new room.
So do I start following Oreo to possibly find Galil?
Not yet. We'll get to that.
14.
14. There's a few humans. There are some that look like maybe half elf in nature. You see that there are 2 tiefling women that are here that seem to be as acting as servants, and one central like overstuffed lazy boy style chair that's just like almost looks like it's entirely made of like silken beanbag cushion. And just in it is this one woman, brown curly hair that's just like cascading down her shoulders, dressed in these super fine silks that do very little to leave very little to the imagination. And then she leans back in her chair with this golden goblet in hand. She like looks up from taking a sip, sees Kellen enter, and like sets it down on the pillow and shifts her position to you. So, Kellen, who have you brought before me? And Kellen kind of turns like, they've been asking some questions about seeking weapons. The woman, he like steps over to the side, off to the side. So, what brings you to the princess's parlor?
Oh, we're just looking for some good items.
Items, indeed, you say. There aren't many who aren't satisfied with the weapons that you have outside in the bazaar. Why is it that those are not good enough for you?
We only deal with the real good stuff. Nothing too common.
A man of taste. I can appreciate that. She kind of looks you up and down. Then leans forward with her goblet in hand. So you've come to the princess, daughter of the shaman, to seek weapons. For whom do you fight?
For myself.
She looks over at Alcuin.
Kind of remain silent for a second. For myself and those that may need me.
Oh. That sounded more like the truth. So tell me, you who would fight for yourself, why should I not turn you in?
I'm gonna take off my hood. Because I'm only here for the good stuff, and I'm pretty sure someone like you knows a good deal.
I promise you, darling, I know nothing but good deals. So, if you are to have one of these said deals, I suggest you try and convince me one way or the other that you are worthy of such things. I don't sell to nobodies.
And who do you usually sell to?
She just stares at you. Whoever does business well. If you do not wish to do business, perhaps your friend can do so instead. Come to me. She like extends a finger and beckons you forward. Alcuin.
Without hesitation, I just slowly make my way over there.
So,
And as I'm walking, how might I prove that I do deserve something that you sell? something that I can't find up top.
The simple truth usually suffices. People such as yourselves aren't exactly commonly found around these parts. People tend to cater to the status quo. I do nothing of the sort. So, I sell my goods to those I deem fit for such. And nothing gets sold, bought, traded, or given within the harbors of Procampur without the princess knowing about it.
When she refers to herself as princess, I humbly bow a little bit.
A man who knows proper respect. I find that admirable. She looks over at Galil. You do have a certain light to you. Interesting. Well, if you have nothing better to offer me, then you should probably go.
Are y'all still okay?
You're like, I don't know where I am in this city.
You wanted the truth?
I did ask for it, didn't I?
I fight for me and those who can't fight for themselves.
The truth. And under whose authority do you do these things? She kind of like traces her finger around the goblet.
For my deity.
I assume then you speak of the one whom I've heard tell about. The one they call the angel. Would that be true?
Yes.
She like leans back in her big voluminous chair, crosses her legs, and brings up her goblet again. How interesting. So, if I were to provide you with the things you desire, of what benefit would that be to me?
I take it you don't want anything bad happening down here?
You truly believe that someone such as myself would have anything to worry about in this city? Darling, you are from out of town.
And what of the Thayans?
You can see her face kind of, the briefest moment, seems to harden. What of them?
Let me be clear for my friend that we're not with the Thayans by no means. In fact, we're actually here seeking weapons against them to protect ourselves, the cities, those who have died from them. It's difficult to find such weapons in any other city, but I've heard that someone such as yourself could offer aid. And thus if we received aid from you, we possibly could provide aid ourselves.
She kind of seems to think about it for a second. You know, my father once told me a story about such a band of do-gooders out in the middle of the desert. found themselves caught between forces they could not quite possibly understand. Pirates and Thayans. He spoke of your bravery, as I am assuming it is you, and she looks over at Galil, who came across such an individual. Had you not been of such value to him, and I believe your friend still commandeers the pirates that operate there, do they not?
He does.
He's made quite a profitable coin for me and my father's businesses. The shaman sees all, and so does his princess. I will provide
always
you.
Rely on Pigug.
I will provide you with whatever you require. Tell your angel he has friends in Procampur. Now go. Enjoy yourself for the evening as guests of the princess. If you have others of your little group with you,
We do.
they are welcome to stay within my walls. I'm sure you have much work to do. Go on. Go fetch them. I would be interested in meeting these individuals you seek, or that you have with you.
Okay, will do, princess. I'm gonna bow and then turn around and leave.
As you leave, what are you doing, Aliquin?
I bow also, and I kind of glance up, and we did make a trip down here. Is it possible that we could view any wares? That way we could let our friends know that items that they're looking for might also be down here also.
She reaches a hand out for you. She wraps her fingers around yours. She pulls you forward like so suddenly that you kind of get caught off balance, and you land like half in her lap, half on the sofa with her. She kind of
Bad dog.
she kind of rubs her hand like over the top of your head. I think we could come to an arrangement. Kaolin, see to this gentleman's needs. Whatever he requires.
Hey.
About 8 inches.
Hey.
She kind of like ruffles your hair a little bit and then like pushes you off of her lap.
I just let it happen.
Does she step on him too?
Oh no.
Degrade him a little bit.
Oh
Sit on
no.
me, daddy.
She goes back to drinking as Kaolin like leads the both of you out. Okay. So we'll just like speed up time a little bit, and over the course of the next hour or so, you coordinate with your party. Yeah, your party and Kaolin, and eventually you guys are brought down to this undercity and into the princess's palace.
And I'm gonna let Kindred and Sonder know that we know of her dad, the shaman that we met
Yeah,
in the
one
desert.
in the desert that I tried talking to when we left.
Who did the mummy return style shit.
That's awesome.
So then upon everybody returning, you guys are given refreshments, a meal, Renan.
Can we do some hookah too?
Oh yeah.
Before
Enjoy some
any
hookah.
of that, I feel like Renan would be very concerned after the explanation from Iskra about making sure that we take care of
Right.
the shop.
Right. So, what are you guys wanting to do with them about that situation?
When do I arrive?
Well, we'll wait for. Well, I mean, okay, so I have to go back again.
So I was not physically there for any of that technically. So I have no idea what they're talking about.
With the shaman, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no idea.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
yeah,
like, yeah, sure, magic, whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just letting you know. Hey, Gug.
Yeah. Okay, so before as all that was happening, then you guys who are back still in the red roofed district, Sonder, it takes you a little bit to like find them, but eventually you do find them. Before you do find where this Grom's Gilded Beauties is, Renan, Renan, Iskra, and Kindred. What are you guys doing? Kindred, you're maintaining owl shape.
Yeah,
you
I
and
stay
Sol?
out as long as possible.
Okay. So then, Renan and Iskra, what are you guys doing as like everybody had kind of got together and stuff?
I motioned for them to follow me back into Grom's, and want to check on them.
Okay.
Who's holding Kitty Soul?
I think you jumped at Iskra. That was the last thing I recall in that situation. Is you jumped in Iskra's arm.
Okay, well, perfect. I'll still hold Kitty Soul.
Okay.
Shaman with elven ears and Calavehood deity.
Wait. Oh, that
That's
you
all
had.
Yeah, that's the only thing I have of him.
Oh, okay.
Someone too.
That's in my other notebook. Let me get it.
Okay, so as you go back into the Grom's Gilded Beauties store, you can see that the family is kind of like having a really heated conversation right now around the table. You can see that Thena is still has finished her work, but she's still just kind of like, she knows that she's being talked about kind of thing. And so, but she's just kind of like, she's listening to the conversation, but it looks like she's kind of like looking down the table.
Are these people human?
Yes. They would be classified as Damaran, basically. Impulturian. Yeah, they're Damaran. Just go with that. It's the easiest.
Are all of you all right?
You can see Grom as he turns his attention back over to the two of you, and he sees Iskra immediately and rushes over. He's like, "What happened? Yes, we're fine, but what did you do?"
Unfortunately, they got away. But as you heard, they're expecting me to bring your daughter to somewhere I don't know and where I wouldn't bring her anyway. Honestly, that order, I think they're interested in her just for her sake, for their own sake. The way that she's manipulating metal like that, the Iron Shadow could probably teach her.
He kind of looks over at his daughter, very concerned.
And really quick, I'm just perched outside keeping guard as the owl.
All right.
But I think that either way, Thans or them, you wouldn't see her again.
He
I
looks
don't
over.
think it to be wise for you to try to stay here. We have a ship. We could possibly take you with us. If you would let us help you.
He looks over at his sons. He's like, "We are under the employ of a very powerful figure here in Procampur. I don't think that we can just go so simply."
And if there was any way for us to get that clearance.
We have built our lives here. I hesitate to leave, but I also have heard and know plenty of what the Thayans do to those with whom they have their eyes set upon.
Would you rather back up your life and have to start over somewhere new. Or have it stolen from you altogether. Have your child taken.
Maybe I can remove some of the uncertainty. Because we wouldn't tell you to go just find someplace new to start. Both Renan and I are not from here. That much is clear. But we've found a new home, somewhere that's safe from the Thans. You'd be welcome there too.
Point of fact, I think you'd be of great use. You have a new life there.
He looks at his shoulder and looks back at you. You can see the boys just kind of like have stepped between the daughter and the table, and then it's like Grom, and they're kind of like behind his dad, but they kind of have like taken to either side of him, and not that they are like in any sort of way like being threatening, but you can tell that they have definitely taken off a more of a protective stance.
I left my family to pursue my path. It doesn't have to be that way for you folks. You can stay together.
Then perhaps we must, he looks at the boys, gather what we have done for the princess. We must go and take these goods to her and see if we can find some way to barter our way to a new place.
Then let us help you.
Please.
The coast is clear.
Make a perception check.
9 and 17.
Okay. It looks so far. You see a couple of people that walk past. Nobody seems to be paying any special attention to the shop. They just kind of move about. No iron shadow that you've been able to see.
Okay.
And to get you out of here, I will bring every ounce of power Hirsonos has blessed upon me to make certain you are safe and your children.
He waits for a moment. He seems to be deep in thought. We will gather what we can, and I will try and contact. I will contact the princess and see what arrangements can be made. I don't want to lose my family, but
May we escort you?
sure. Nikki, go grab the box. The oldest child.
Minaj.
The oldest boy goes to the back. You can hear like shuffling around. He returns a moment later with the box that you had seen the younger brother kind of like hide. Let us go. And you guys exit the building. Your polymorph lasts for an hour, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're probably at like the 45-minute mark at this point, I would say. You're getting pretty
Do
close.
we run into Sonder?
Yeah, I would say about like the time you guys are leaving the building and starting to walk down the street, you guys kind of like cross paths.
So then if I'm at the 45-minute mark for my polymorph, you would probably say that Rary's telepathic bond is ran out because it lasts an hour as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
All right.
I remember.
All right. So what are you guys doing? Heading.
Well,
Yes, heading to the princess.
Going
now.
with this family to the princess.
All right.
But to some extent,
So,
I think we're
as you
like
guys are-
arriving
Yeah, I was like,
as they're trying to send for us.
yeah. Basically, there's like this moment where you kind of like, oh, we're on our way with this family, and they're like, oh, but this one lady has invited us over, and you both realize it's like
That's
this
wonderful.
same princess person.
Well,
Unless they mean
Sandra feels a little bit of like
It's just a
nervous.
better running to
Sandra gets a little nervous. Okay, so you guys now forward through time once again, and find yourselves in
2 hours
the
later.
4 hours later. You find yourselves in the Undercity and inside the lounge tavern area of the princess's palace.
They have hookah over there.
Yeah, you already see that that Galil and Aloquin are definitely enjoying themselves in their space at the moment.
They have an apple flavor. They have a root beer flavor. And
Ooh, get that one. Get that one.
No.
mint.
Waffles,
that one makes you
nachos.
dizzy.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh, no.
So Soul decides to revert back. When we're all inside now, right?
We're
Okay.
technically underground.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Hey.
he starts to revert back, and when he's coming out of his kitty form, he has to stretch. So he does this big stretch while he's wearing nothing but his fundushi.
Oh no.
And he accidentally does a sexy pose.
Oh, there you go. Renan is somewhat visibly uncomfortable being underground.
So, Kindred, what are you doing?
So have y'all told us that we're to be giving anything we desire? Galil, Aloquin?
I think the
Probably
market
not.
is open. Well, I think there's a very large market of things that kind of piqued my interest. So we didn't agree to
You
anything.
didn't answer the question at
Yeah.
hand.
No, but Kindred, are you
Well, if they caught us up on what their interaction was, is the princess still here with us?
I was just asking if you were going down there with them or
Oh
if you were-
yeah.
and because you're going to be in your hobgoblin form, so I was just double
Yes.
checking. Okay, that's all I was checking.
All bundled up still.
For the most part, yes.
We're good.
And I
Okay.
believe she's still here.
Well,
Yeah, you guys are in the main like lobby area, and she's still in the back room. She is having a meeting at the moment with Grom and his family, to which you are not you are not allowed to go in with. But so you guys are currently in the tavern outside.
Mhm. I'm just going to take a seat. Not going to eat or drink anything, but just take a seat where I can get a clear view of when they come back. I can see them.
Okay.
How
I'm
much
gonna-
of looking into the room can we see?
To the
the-
private chambers, it's closed.
Okay.
There's like a closed door to it.
Then I'm going to stand kind of next to Kindred, but at this point after the interaction, Renan's responsibility side is showing up, and he's sitting there like pensively waiting for the door to open.
Okay.
And I'm gonna go ahead and cast detect magic. I'm just gonna have it there for the next 30 minutes.
Okay.
Yeah, just gonna.
There's various, I mean, aside from the objects your friends have, there are various small amounts of like magic items spread throughout the entirety of this room. There's a couple of the candelabras that seem to be giving off a little bit of magical aura. There is the hookah machines themselves that have a little bit of a magical enchantment to them, which is probably explaining why you feel so very good right now.
That candlestick can cast fireball. I kind of lean in. I lean into Kindred. That's awesome.
Don't piss it off.
Well, obviously.
I'm gonna go hang out
great.
near Aloquin and bring Sonder, like motion to have Sonder come sit.
Renan, could you sit? You're making me anxious pacing back and forth like that.
Fine.
I want whatever Eloquin is having.
Eloquent looks like
I pass
It's
over the hookah
good.
stick.
they
I just
are
pass
very
over the hookah
relaxed.
stick like, I think it's apple. I don't know. It's sour.
Cherry
Don't
vodka
do that.
sours.
Cherry vodka sours.
Oh, my
God.
gosh, I miss it so much.
It's a
Okay.
white gummy bear with mint and an ice
This one
So-
tastes like unicorn.
Oh my god. Okay, so
Soul is
it's
gonna.
Soul.
Sorry, Aaron.
No, go ahead.
He's gonna ask his group, you guys. So why are we here again?
Look for weapons.
I'm
Look for items. And now we have adopting a family.
Yes.
we saved a family.
Right. Yeah.
Do they want to come with us?
Because we're not headed back to Atet.
Well, yeah, but I can send them there. No problem. I just
That
gotta
is
wait till
true.
morning.
Yeah.
So
We
we
could
are.
just take Earl.
Honestly, at this point, I don't think they have a whole lot of choice.
They
They
always
can
have a
try to stay
choice.
here if they want to, but
What if they don't want to be dead, kindred?
But at what cost of staying here?
Well, yes, it looks like there's an obvious choice, but that's still their choice to make.
well, I agree.
It's not for us to decide. It's up to
And-
them to decide.
Who knows if the shadow monks will retaliate and try to kill them like tomorrow or destroy their shop because they didn't get what they wanted.
Behave.
Well, like I said, it
Well, they're
seems like an
probably-
obvious choice, but we still have to let them make their choice.
Shop over their own
Of course.
lives, by all means.
Therefore, we did. We asked if they wanted our help and nothing more. I can only hope that we can possibly save them.
Well,
I can't imagine
maybe
being
s-
locked in these bindings.
well, maybe since y'all got in good with the princess and they're under the princess, maybe she'll say yes and let them go.
I don't know.
What
Don't-
does
I
the
am hopeful
princess
for
look
that.
like?
By the way, did y'all get any inks or chalk?
Because I swear I met another princess earlier, and I don't know if this is the same one.
So
Well, hopefully you'll get a chance to meet her soon.
you hear the door open, and Grom comes out with his sons and daughter in tow.
I stand up and like pat down my robes and try to like look nice and put together.
And they walk over to your group. We have been given leave to go find this new home that you speak of. My
Renan takes his first breath in the since the door opened.
my children are going to be going with you. I am going to stay here with the princess for the time being. I still have a debt to pay off, and
What is
we are currently apparently to be allies. She and your people.
is the princess like with him? Like,
No.
are they all there? Okay,
No,
it's just
it's
him.
just the family.
Mind
What
if I
is your
ask, what is
debt?
your debt?
It is something that cannot be easily paid. But I appreciate your concern.
And it's a daughter and two sons,
Yes.
and they're there with him.
Yes.
Magical girl.
So I'll
and their
like
sons.
turn my attention down to her. Like, is she tall or short? Like, do I have to get on my knees to like get eye level?
No, she's probably, I would say, 15 or 16 years old. So she's not like a little girl, but she's the youngest. The middle child looks like later in his teens, whereas the older brother probably is like early-ish 20s.
Mm-hmm. So then I'll take her hands and mine if she lets me, and just tell her, I can send you all to a safe place where you'll be together and you'll be well taken care of. It'll be fun and you'll be free to do as you please, if that's what y'all want. As I kind of like look at all three of them.
She looks up at her father, and the boys kind of like post up behind their sister, like one on each side, very like protective bodyguard brother kind of style. She looks up at her father and looks over at you and just kind of shrugs and doesn't say anything. They will go with you, Grom says. He looks over at Iskra. I have no other words of gratitude that I have not already tried to speak to you. I would be destroyed if I had lost my family, or it was split apart more than it already was.
I'm sorry we had to meet under the circumstances we did, but I'm glad I was there.
As am I. I am looking forward to seeing this new home. He looks over at Kindred that you have spoken about.
You are
But-
going to love it.
But for
They
now,
have said
what?
they have said that your daughter has skills in metalworking.
Thunder, now's not the time.
He nods. He's like, it is a gift that most of my family have possessed of some degree or another, but Thina is the most gifted
If she
in several generations.
has such talents, we have people who can train her in these things, tinkering and metalworking. If she's interested.
Perhaps by the time you are able to join your children once again, they will have some of the life that you will possibly have to leave here, rebuilt where you're going.
I can hope so. That is a nice dream to have. But we have had a very eventful evening and the hour grows late. We are going to turn in. Thank you for all of your kindness and help. And he looks over to Iskra and like it grabs at your hands. Thank you.
Of course.
And I have a gift for you. Do not let me forget before you leave tomorrow. Have a good night. And he like goes, the four of them kind of go up to the room. You see Kaolin that's kind of been sitting at the back bar now moves forward and says, the princess wishes to speak with you if you are so inclined.
Time to go, guys.
Kindred is actually really excited to speak with her.
I am too. I kind of like get up
Because-
with Khalil and Kindred.
Kindred and Sauter now know that she's related to him.
Yes.
Mhm.
All
The
right.
shaman.
I can't remember his name off the top of my head.
We never knew his name. It was just the shaman. He kept it secret.
Renan would like to go speak with the princess if possible as well.
Sure. Yeah, you guys are invited into her chambers as like it was not so much like she wants to speak with you as in like you've been invited to go into her chambers. Yeah.
Ah!
Yeah.
Past the VIP rope.
Yeah, basically.
I'm with
What
the
did you
DJ.
say
Multi-pass.
her race was?
We got a bottle
What was
service.
what was her description?
Just she was human, had really curly like brown hair that kind of fell down past her shoulders.
And very open with her appearance.
Mhm. All right.
Oh, well, I guess I can relax and I'll take my hood down.
And her dad was Elven though, so
All I knew is
it-
that the shaman seemed elvish.
Mhm.
seemed it or
Yep. It says right here.
Whoops.
Walking
The shaman
in,
appears to be some sort of elf.
walking in, how are we greeted?
So walking into the room, you can see that it's like a smaller lounge space than the one outside. There is still like one offshoot, like little sunken pillow pit that has a couple of individuals that are relaxing and enjoying themselves. You can see that there are the two tiefling women that seem to be serving the various individuals their beverages and like plates of grapes and that sort of like atmosphere. The princess is seated in her chair once again. This time looks like she is snacking on some grapes and cheeses as she kind of like delicately pops them in her mouth as you guys enter the room. And Saunders' blood runs cold
God, it's the same.
as he recognizes the woman from the music shop.
That's awesome.
Wow. Okay.
She like pops another grape in her mouth and then like and then just like continues to chew. It's like just the briefest moment of like recognition.
I'm gonna nod to her and smile.
So, are these all of your friends?
I bow and say yes.
Her eyes kind of like scan each person, kind of looking them up from up and down.
Are we all here?
I bow as well.
I'll also bow.
And with a not for any particular, not a metagaming reason on the subject of the shaman. That's not why. Just because of who he is. In Elvish, he bows his head, Minilvanen, as a greeting.
Soul doesn't understand why people are bowing, so he doesn't.
Okay.
Love it.
She kind of like to
Just gonna
Renan,
acknowledge her with a
nod.
nod.
She kind of does the same to Iskra and Renan with a little bit of more of a raised eyebrow. You travel with some very handsome companions. Are all those in the angel's employ thus this beautiful?
Get well.
Many of us
See?
are.
I suppose we try.
Soul can't even think of anything to say in response to that.
I use moisturizer in the morning.
Beauty is in the eye of the beholder.
Oh,
Looking
no.
up at her,
That means
looking
something
up at her-
completely different in D&D world.
looking up at her,
Yeah.
Renan simply says, "You speak of the beauty of others. Truly humbling to get that from you."
Oh, and he's good with his
Well.
words too.
Wow.
She kind of like readjusts herself on the sofa and just kind of like leans back.
Paint me like one of your French girls.
Yeah,
Oh.
very much like that. Kind of puts her legs up over the armrest of the chair. She kind of leans
Yeah.
back over the side.
Oh,
Wait, that's what you do.
this reminds me. Iskra,
Am I
Here.
wrong?
I got this from a very talented and beautiful merchant of music.
She just kind of watches the exchange happen, doesn't say anything.
The strings and the hurdy-gurdy.
Mhm.
What is this instrument? I've never seen something like it before.
You're supposed to crank it and then play the little notes as it goes, and it makes it sound like a violin, but more wild and kind of like a sitar.
It sounds like it'll be fun to figure out.
That looks awesome.
You have not played such an instrument before. Do you play instruments? She looks
Do I
over at
play
Iskra.
instruments? I take the dulcimer strap and I like kind of pull out a little and I say, "May I?"
Indulge us.
All right, we're gonna play this dulcimer here.
All right, go for it. Make a performance check for me.
Not my best work. 16.
16.
Nice is
How?
we're joining in.
If you wish to join in.
Mhm.
Okay, go ahead and make a performance check.
Does this have any similarity to any of the previous stuff that I've heard you play before?
Mm,
Oh, hang on.
Like, is Renan in any way mentally prepared for what's coming off of the
I'm playing my lute, but it's 15 total.
15?
I mean, I'm just trying to match the mood of the area, right?
Yeah.
And I don't
Everything's
think
scary.
that we've. And I don't think we've necessarily had to be in an environment like this before, so I don't think so.
Right.
After
Go ahead.
after listening for a moment, Renan would like. How big is the room?
It's probably about 30 feet across. About the ceiling's pretty high. It's a pretty good sized cube. Maybe it's a little longer than it is wide, but it's a pretty evenly sized space.
So I don't intend to do like a whole song or anything. I'm
Right, you're just kind of playing
doing
a little
doing
bit.
a little flourish.
Right.
Be like, of course I play instruments.
Do I ever?
Road to El Dorado.
Okay.
They call a rising sun.
So, as you guys play this, and the princess kind of goes, Amora, go show them what a hurdy-gurdy sounds like. One of the tiefling girls like puts down her tray and then goes over and like settles down, grabs a hurdy-gurdy, like sits on the pillow and like gets herself all ready and like tunes it for a second before she starts with this like tune that starts to play. Let me see. And she starts singing along with it.
That's awesome.
As she just kind of starts doing this very slow song that kind of goes along. Singing in the Damaran dialect that you've heard already in the town a little bit.
I watch with interest.
And as she starts playing, you can hear that the other tiefling woman starts singing kind of along with her to kind of back her up. And as she starts like bringing in the tones, it is quite a interesting sound. You could almost feel that as she plays, there's like this vibration to the air that kind of flows with the music as that like continually strummed string just brings this strange vibration that you've never experienced, especially those of you who are probably seated a little closer to where she's at. It's a very intoxicating environment between like the kind of haziness of it, the different multicolored lights hanging from these elaborate glass hanging chandeliers, and her tone kind of starts picking up as you see the princess like watching her play just kind of starts to smile, and her eyes slowly go over to Sonder.
So I still have my detect magic on, so if I see any like crazy shit, then I'm gonna say something.
Nothing seems to be like, there's no magic coming from the hurdy-gurdy itself, but it is a very magical experience nonetheless. But she's definitely, the princess like looks at you and she just like takes a really slow sip of her beverage, or she just the equivalent of eye fornication with you right now.
I will match that, and then I'm going to walk over to her, like matching the rhythm, and ask for a hand to dance.
She just takes another drink and then lets a hand slide across like the small of your back, and just kind of her fingers kind of play in like these little circles along your skin, but she doesn't like engage other than that. She just kind of like teases you. She like her attention focuses back on the girl that's playing.
I would like to cast Gust to like very subtly like make Saunders' hair like flow and make him very appealing.
More than it already does.
Yeah, because he already kind of flows a little bit like he's underwater, but now there's like a little bit of a air-conditioned breeze that starts to circulate the room, and like
it kind of like swirls around them both. That way she gets intoxicated by his scent.
You're like hardcore pimping out Sonder over here.
Hey, I want to ask her for some serious shit, so of course I'm gonna be like, get on her good side.
Minor illusion, a lot of lights around them.
Ooh, little fireflies everywhere.
Because I already looked at that.
Can't.
I'm going to.
It says if you create an illusion, it can't give off light.
Hmm.
Because I was about to do that as well.
Wait, what about like
Fireflies?
sparkling particles that
Ooh.
don't?
Just like glowing images, little glowing images that kind of
Yeah,
like
right.
move
Where-
around.
Making her own
know,
Discord
Where
right
are the
now.
lights coming from? In the room.
So there are these like mosaic styled. You know which one I'm talking about, Iskra? They're like those little mosaic.
I know
hanging
exactly what you're
chandeliers.
talking
I do not
about
know what
because
they're
there's a
called.
shop like that, like down the
Mm.
street from me.
Yes. So it
Oh,
has
like
like these
the
little like, and they're
bulbous?
like chained, and like
Yeah.
little string balls of like multicolored lights,
Oh, yeah.
multicolored glass. So it gives us
Renan?
very good.
Renan starts doing this, casting thaumaturgy on all of the flames above, or like all of the lanterns above, changing the colors.
Kind of like
giving
making them
slightly-
rock and move a little bit and creating this very like magical disco ball-y kind of effect to the
What is happening?
Graham,
I'm just here to
I love
shop
you.
for stuff. What's happening?
But it is a very nice like
good at dance with
display. Yeah, she doesn't dance, but she just does play on your back as long as you're standing there. But she doesn't
Then
move from
I
her
will-
chair.
I will like caress her arm as I walk away towards Iskra, and then ask Iskra to dance.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
So
Do you know whenever Aang and Katara were dancing in the cave? That's what I see right
Yeah.
now.
Yes.
Ooh,
I see that
cool.
right now, where it's just like
Yeah.
they both bow at each other, and then they like.
That's exactly
dance
the dance I was
fight.
going for anyway.
Dance fight
Let's
right
do
now.
it.
Let's do it. Yeah. Okay.
Roll for performance.
go for it.
For performance.
It's a very
Performance away.
monkish,
got
like
this.
it looks like they're in a duel kind of dance. Oh my god, this sounds great.
Capo Muerte.
I got a.
Oh,
I
yeah,
got a
right.
14.
I got a 17.
Agni Kai.
It was all of a sudden it turns into like a heavy metal rock show. It's just flames going everywhere.
I'm gonna
Oh
cast
my
Kraken's
Fireball.
breath.
Oh no.
Yo, stop. Okay. I was joking.
And so Soul pulls out his pan flute from who knows where. Just kidding. He just-
Oh no.
That would be great though.
Everybody was breakdance fighting. Oh my god. All right. So for the next couple of like minutes, like Amora plays a couple more songs. Then you guys kind of like twirl about the room. Finally, everything kind of calms down, and the like, she kind of goes back to serving, and she kind of bows to the little applause that everybody gives her when she stops playing. Hands the hurdy-gurdy back to Sonder.
Yeah, I bow back at Sonder after we're done dancing.
And I say out loud, I would like to present my friends.
The princess kind of like leaning back in her chair. She goes, "They are quite an interesting bunch. Very entertaining."
You're telling me as I drink.
She brings up her glass and like, here's to a beautiful future of allies between the princess and the angel. She kind of just takes a deep sip, and everybody else like raises their glass and
Oh.
takes a drink as well.
I'll
Who's sit-
pretend to take a drink. I don't actually drink.
Who's sitting next to me, or standing next to me?
I don't know who's standing next to you.
How cool.
Maybe?
I was hanging back, so me.
Yeah.
Just in case that they're poisoned, you two will have a reaction and we'll know.
Goo. Chug.
Renan begins to not fully approach the princess, but comes closer. I have a question, if you do not mind.
And I might have an answer, if I mind.
I hate to bring business to such an event, but I was wondering if I may find a patron to forge an altar of types to the god that I worship. It would take little room, and the only request is that it is somewhere amongst the stars.
She kind of thinks about it for a minute while he looks around her. Clearly, that is not within my purview at the moment. dearest, but
Truly.
Procampur is a very tolerant city. I don't see why such a thing could not be done. Perhaps I will see what I can do.
While
If
you're
you
doing
have
this,
a-
I really need to go to the bathroom.
Okay, go for it.
Goodbye.
Khalil
I-
excuses himself from the
Excuse
chamber.
me, I gotta
Leave
go.
the party.
Boom.
Yeah, he plays with the doggy.
Oh no! Did he kill? Did he kick the doggy? Anyway, it's like if you have specifications, then see that they are given to me before you leave, and I will make sure that whatever I can do can be done.
Do you have a pen and paper? Or quill, if you will?
She looks about herself. She's like, I do not, but I will have such things given to you.
My son. Oh no.
And as Renan asked that, I kind of chime in also. So, being as someone as you are, would you yourself or know of anybody that could sell something that a warlock could covet?
I might have a compromise as I step forward.
I'm listening.
Your father is the shaman, correct?
He is.
Well, when we last met, he received a rather very interesting quarry that I'm not sure if he was able to figure out how, but what I wasn't able to relay is that I know what it was, and I will minor illusion the stone tablets that he got bought and took off with. These were from my people, and I was very much hoping to perhaps procure one. And I just wonder if maybe those are still within his possession, or maybe your possession, as I humbly bow.
I personally do not know where these things might be. But I can ask my father and see if he might remember these devices that you spoke of.
It would be very much appreciated. And any information I discover on it would be glad to share with you.
Of course.
Look what I've done. I've made this whole party about nothing but business.
Well, as long as we are talking business, I think it's important for me to mention that in order to protect Grom's family, I did bring up the name of one of our powerful foes as a deception, and I don't think it'll take long to get back to her, and thus our enemies will know we're here.
If she is alive right now. But
We'll be leaving
hopefully we
first thing
can-
in the morning. Hopefully I can send them on their way, and we'll be on our way out before they are none the wiser.
Right.
Just so the princess and her people aren't surprised, things might heat up here for a little while after we've gone.
Elliot's
She's like-
internet crapped out, by the way.
That's fine. She nods slowly. Procampur has a very strained relationship with the Empire. We are technically allies. Technically. But only in the interest of self-preservation. We do what we can to appease their requests. They provide us with a measure of leniency and usually don't go delving into our affairs. On occasion, they have been given leave to harvest, I suppose. from the city's citizens. It is an unfortunate business, but it is one that has kept the city out of the teeth of the Empire for many, many, many years.
I certainly hope that this does not get in the way of that.
Only time will tell, I suppose. Because technically it is not a part of the deal sort of thing. It is simply looked the other way. That being said, I am hoping that with this new ally that we have found ourselves with, perhaps something can be done about that.
Insight
You-
check.
Sure.
Sorry, like Eloquent kind of zoned out a little bit.
Too much hookah.
Whoa, where am I?
What happened?
You've been hitting that hookah a little too hard.
Oof.
That's not good, but insight. 11.
Kind of hard to read. She seems like she seems earnest, but she also seems like a very astute businesswoman. So
So, one more request, if I might be so forward, is would you happen perhaps to have access or control of a teleportation circle? It would make trade and assets much easier to get in and out for you or to you.
there are no official circles that I am aware of within the city. However, that does not mean that there aren't those who aren't capable of conjuring such things within my employ. I have kept them by need alone, locked away, so that they are not absconded with. But I do have some people who are capable of such things, though their knowledge is limited as far as location, as they serve me and my father. So if you have specifics on where you want things to go, I suggest that be part of our arrangement.
And in return, I get one from you.
You are getting one from me. She kind of looks.
I look at the group like, should I give her our portal?
I think that she seems fairly honest, and I would even think maybe kind.
I'm gonna.
Insight.
Go ahead.
Didn't realize my insight bonus was as high as it is. 25
25.
plus 8.
She seems to be being earnest with you. It's not like she's lying directly, but you do tell that you can tell that she chooses her words very carefully.
I'm gonna spies murmur in response to Kindred. If there is a danger that it could fall into Thayan hands, do we really want to take that risk? I'm sure boat trade is fine.
It will be more
Secure.
secure. Yeah,
So
less suspicious.
perhaps
Maybe
we
it could be destroyed before it falls into Thayan hands.
perhaps we can hold off on this until we both garner more trust from each other. You understand how precious and the information of a portal can be.
kind of looks to each of you, kind of noticing now the lack of speaking between each other, but the seeming like cohesiveness of the one mind kind of thing. As you wish.
I mean, no disrespect, and I like bow again.
I assure you, if there was disrespect felt, you would know. So, you leave in the morning, yes?
We do.
Mhm.
Right.
Compile a list of things that you wish to try and procure before you leave.
On it.
I am going to retire for the evening. She stands up, like, does this, like, cat stretch. Takes this.
One truly final thing. Would you have someone that could take myself and another to the highest point in your city?
If that is what you require, we can show you the way. Now, I am off to bed. Sonder, you're coming with me.
I was
She, like-
going to ask.
She like just walks past you.
How's it feel? It's your turn now.
Hey, send the
Alright.
peeping Tom. Don't even.
Okay.
Oh, this was before us. Before I got suckered by a male pirate. Pretty much same
Yeah.
situation.
Yeah.
You, as she walks past you, Amora and the other tiefling woman both like loop an arm through your arms and follow behind their mistress. And Sonder is like led away.
I'm okay with this. Honestly.
So, the rest of you guys, is anything like there? I mean, you know, go ahead and compile yourself a list of the things that you are trying to find yourself in the possession of.
And
And
I
you-
brought that paper.
Oh yeah,
Kindred has a whole book that he's gonna fill out.
Mhm.
Is
I got
this
your vials.
Here's one thing.
He might
I
be able
got
to spare
vials
a
and
page.
paper. I know that.
Sweet.
I will Spice Murmur Iskra. If they have anything like a gauntlet or gloves of some kind that I would like, that you think that I would like, let me know.
I'll keep my eyes open.
So I just wrote a list: rare chalks, any healing potions they can spare, ink, parchment, empty vials. If they're willing to part with any magical objects, if I could,
things that might
Not
be
really
of use.
yeah.
I Spies Murmur Kindred. Anything that could step my warlock game up a step.
Any and I'll just put like spell scrolls ?
Right on.
So we'll talk to Kindred from across the room. Could you ask, or could you write down to see if I could get magic weapons too? Because you guys have some really nice magic things. I want some too, like a whip or a scimitar.
Silvered weapons for me. Or
Okay.
magical swords.
Okay.
I
Right on.
mentioned a gauntlet or bracers for Sonder.
It's like
Okay.
wish.com. We're typing it in and hopefully you get what we ordered.
Right.
I see Aaron's face. Yep.
It's actually coated
Oh.
in aluminum, but we just think
Mhm.
it's
It's
so
plated gold.
what
No, it's
next
not.
should I do for drawing essentially a sculpture design? What check would I do?
Your sleight of hand.
Sleight of
Art check.
Yeah, I was like,
Because it's a
Yeah, there's
picture
sleight
of
of hand.
personals.
I think a sleight of hand is whenever you do like
Or Or if you could just do
Special
minor
things.
illusion.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I wanted to.
I was trying to think of when you do like calligraphy and stuff like that. I think they use sleight of hand for that.
Not so much.
Let
Check.
me see.
I'm checking the chat.
I have a thing like that.
Because I think it's dexterity. It's based off of dexterity. So
Yeah. I would think performance or sleight of hand, and then you add if you're proficient in cartography, then you add your proficiency bonus.
right,
The sleight of hand.
sleight of hand. Yes.
And that is 19 after bonus.
So yeah, it's a pretty decent drawing.
He's a little cockeyed, but no.
What
Just a
what eyes
little.
like?
At one.
What do you
Harry
guys don't
Potter drawing.
understand about this campaign is a
Oh, no.
19's pretty damn good for most campaigns.
Still can't hit
You
me.
needed a 25.
So basically, well, and you have the drawing that I had done of Hirsonos, something very similar to that.
Okay.
Instructing that it be made of a hard kind of stone, marble, or granite, if possible.
Sure.
Something that will last through time.
So, on our way to the tattoo parlor?
It's late. I'm
It
going
is
to bed.
literally probably like almost midnight. If you're wanting to get a
Yeah.
long rest tonight, you probably are gonna want to go to bed.
I'm
I
gonna go to
already
sleep.
took a nap and everything.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Gilio is
I'm
like
good.
all hyped up.
After finishing,
I hit him in the back of
Renan
the
is
head,
going-
knock him out. No.
Renan is going to go to Iskra. Iskra, might I steal you for a moment? Well, more than a moment, perhaps.
I mean, it's kind of late. But yeah, sure. What is it?
I'll take guard duty, by the way.
I've done some talking with influential figures, and I would like to discuss something with you in regards to that request to the princess of the highest point in the city. It shouldn't take too long, I should hope, as long as we can get there quickly and then be off to bed. I understand humans need far more time to rest than elves do.
Okay then, let's go. Thinking that maybe this has to do with the knights.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, kind of.
Mhm.
Or
All right. So you call in, like, is your escort through the Undercity, and he takes you up to the surface, points in the direction that you can see is what they call the castle district, and it's more where like there's these larger palaces and manors that are probably the merchants special section, and it's like sits higher on the hill, kind of looks over the rest of the city.
are any of those places somewhere that I won't be shot down for landing on?
Probably not.
Well,
But you did ask for the highest points in the city.
true. The highest safe point, I suppose.
Then slightly lower, you see that spire there. It's a temple to Saloon.
And I hope she takes no offense. Thank you.
I am not a follower, I don't know. But probably you'll be alright.
And
Probably.
Renan offers out a hand. Iskra?
Wait,
Going
Renan,
for a little trip then?
Just a short one.
just reach in and I'll mage hand you a couple of gold coins. If you're going to be at a temple of Saloon, it's an offering.
Well, you were already inside. You're still
Oh,
inside.
did they, I thought they
they've
were like
already
about
left.
to leave.
No, they already left. They had
Oh.
they had to be out. They had to be outside in order to see where they're gonna go. So they would have already left.
Gotcha. Never mind then.
All right. So you two take off.
Mhm.
Flying into the night sky, flying towards the highest.
I can show you the world.
Whoosh,
And
whoosh.
we're staying like in this same room for the night.
Yeah, you're staying in the princess's palace.
And are there guards that stay in there with us?
Not in the rooms with you, but there is guards at the door. They're basically like glorified bouncers.
Okay, like on the inside or the outside?
There are two, the bigger ones are on the outside, but you have seen that there are some definite guards on the inside.
I'm gonna just walk up to the doors. Like, I'm just gonna set an alarm if that's okay, and I'll start ritual casting alarm.
On your
The
room?
doorway. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, though they're not like out in front of everybody's door, but there's like one at the end of the hallway kind of watching over where the guests stay, but there is not one like.
So I'll set it as a mental note, just our party.
Okay. Alrighty. So Renan and Iskra, once you get to this tall spire, there is this like almost like a crescent moon that's kind of cut into the top of the spire that kind of like sits on the top of it, almost like a scepter kind of thing with like the little moon. You're able to like land there.
I'm like looking around for hatches where Criterion might be able to come out of.
No hatches. Make a perception check though.
7.
Like a wardrobe, like hanging
Back
out
to
on
my
the-
old ways.
There's just a random just a random drawer, chest of drawers that's sitting there on the side of the thing. I mean, it is like you're probably a good 250, 300 feet up in the air right now.
This must be pretty important knight's business. I like you point at my tattoo.
Yeah, the tattoo on the symbol.
So this doesn't have as much to do with the knights as it does with something that I witnessed. You had some intriguing practices when working with your element of air. And I'd like to, and someone else would like to give you insight into such things. If you would be accepting of such advice, of course.
Mhm.
Of course, I don't pass up an opportunity to learn how to better manipulate the elements.
Splendid. And somewhat overly posingly, I guess, Renan opens his wings wide. And as he opens his wings wide, lightning begins to fill his eyes, and his voice, or at least his accent for certain, changes. And you see shimmering versions of an extra pair of wings above his current pair of wings and below as well.
Whoa.
And lightning starts to arc out. So Iskra, it is the name of she who wishes to know of my power.
I imagine this isn't Renan.
No. Ronan has been a faithful of mine for many, many years. You have access to the power of wind. I've seen it through his eyes. But you treat it much as you do your element of water. Do you not?
That's true. I haven't quite grasped wind yet. I mean, it is intangible after all.
Indeed. You see, Iskran, from what I witnessed through his eyes, you seem to think that wind, like water, can be bound and leashed. Cannot. I am an embodiment of freedom. I am the sky. I am the wind in the sails, or beneath the wings of any winged creature. Freedom is wind. You cannot leash the wind, but you will find that it often is willing to go where you wish it to be. I haven't enough power in this world yet to speak to you any further. Dranan knows many of these lessons, and I am certain would be more than happy to grant you further insight. Trained under the wings of a god. Be free.
As the lightning kind of like subsides, a little static electricity that kind of was shooting out through the wings starts to like dissipate and kind of fall away.
Iskra, I hope you got something out of that.
Were you there for any of that?
Like the sound of thunder coming over hills, far away in the distance. But not really, no.
And I need help understanding. Was this an elemental, or
That is...
are you connected to the plane of air in some way?
Like as he like kind of like searches for the words, you can hear in the distance in this like starlit sky, like the faintest crackle of thunder just kind of like rumbles across the horizon.
No. Irsanos in my world is the true embodiment of freedom, the god of wind.
Iskra has to take this in a moment. I never put much stock in gods. I feel like anyone that powerful wouldn't pay attention to us if they existed. And if they did, they would want something out of us, right? But here I am and here you are, so...
Might I tell you a piece of my world's history? It's a simple story, and it is an occurrence where Hyrsonos broke a law of his pantheon of gods to save a boy who was charged of a crime he didn't commit. The boy was to be executed for stealing from the city's treasure. And upon the governor, who in fact was the thief, asking if the boy had any last words, a voice like thunder fell from the sky, asking simply, how funny I was going to ask you the same thing. With that, a 300-meter tall embodiment of wind himself stood outside the city's walls. The entirety of this city had gotten on board with the execution of a young boy of no more than 10 years old. And because of that, Hirsonos decimated that city, but harmed not a single soul. He took the boy away, but not before saying, "The one who is truly guilty of this crime shall in fact lose his head." He whipped away in a volley of wind. The governor's head fell clean off his shoulders. Hirsonos broke a fundamental law of the gods to save a single child. He believes that freedom is paramount for those who are guilty of no crimes. That is his lesson. That is his law. That is his teaching. And freedom in the wind is his calling. It is why I'm here.
Well, he's certainly a powerful being. That much I can tell from this display here, and he definitely has a lot of insight into the nature of the wind, which I receive gratefully, and I do think it will be useful. Part of the reason that it's so hard for me to work on wind, I think, now having had this interaction, is, well, I have to think about it a little bit more.
I understand. It's not your faith, and Hirsonos in no way will be offended by that. I assure you. Now, I trust you want to get off of this pillar.
Yes, I think I will need a hand down.
Hand and wing, I can afford.
So as he
And
go ahead. No, I was like, so as he like grabs a hold of you and he like, you just go into like this swooping dive that brings this quick wind past you as it just like flying / gliding and falling at a very high velocity down from this peak of the city and flying over these rooftops as you just glide down, feeling the wind pulling at your hair and at your clothes as you just fly along with Renan in silence, heading back to where you had taken off from, eventually finding yourselves back in the Undercity and within the princess palace's walls. You are led to your rooms where you each take a nice long rest. Except for Kindred.
Ha.
What did I do this time?
What did I do? So during your sleep, it's not a very like you do get a long rest, but during your sleep, you receive a visitor. And your mind's dream of darkness is it just kind of like, the normal random disassociation of the day's events that kind of take place in your wild dreams sometimes. You hear the voice of Afriel. How goes your first night?
Better than I thought it was going to be. I'm scared shitless to be in Fae, to be honest.
But you're not there yet.
I know, but every day as we draw closer, I feel it worse than the time I ran and left Galil.
Well, that bravery that you show now probably was come in handy.
I hope you're right.
Materializing in your mind's eye, the form of Afriel once again appears before you. Standing on this like blank space of blackness. Do not be afraid.
But what if he can track me, like he said? As soon as I get into Thay, then I'd be compromising our entire mission.
He did not say he was not going to help you, did he?
Well, I certainly didn't get that impression.
That's fair. What of things with your brother?
I haven't had a chance to converse with Farlight about that. But they were going to check up on that. Did she tell you anything?
I know that they are looking. Currently, either the city is at least a day or two away from not being over the ocean, not being over the sea. Perhaps once we get closer to land, we can find some more resources. But for the time being, they are looking.
Just be careful. I tried to block him from possibly sensing you. I honestly don't know if I was very successful. I tried calling out, but I don't know if you heard, and I even tried ending the spell myself, but I don't know if it was all that successful.
You did good. I don't think you'll have to worry about him finding me that way. What he does once you are within his realm, as it were, only time will tell. But I will check in from time to time. Galil is with you as well, and I'm sure he will, and the others, will do what they can to keep you safe.
And I'll do what I can to keep them safe as well. Which reminds me, so you're going to be receiving a package in the morning. We're sending a family of sorts that need protection. A daughter and 2 sons. They must stick together. All 3 of them.
Understood.
But I'll send word ahead of time.
All right. Kind of hesitates for a minute. Everything going all right so far?
So far, surprisingly well. We've made a possible ally. Have you ever heard of the princess?
No, but I still am unfamiliar with this.
So in my dreams, can I materialize images?
It's your dream.
Okay, so an image of her appears next to me. She's taking quite a liking to Sonder, but for the time being, she seems honest in that possible allies against the Thayans. If anything, it could be a good way to sneak supplies in or out or get trade. And with more trust, we discussed the possibilities of exchanging teleportation circles.
Could be useful.
Very much.
Well, I will not keep you from your deeper sleep. I just wanted to check in.
I know this is a dream, but I go and hug him.
For a moment, your body kind of like passes through him before it like you feel the comfort of a physical form beneath your arms. He kind of leans his head, the side of his head against yours before he pulls away. Be brave. You are doing the right thing.
For your sake, I hope so.
It's not for me that we're doing any of this. It's for everyone else. Don't forget that. He steps
A little
back.
bit for you. Keep up with your lessons.
You're telling me?
You're still always that little boy I taught how to read and write.
Kind of like spins his finger around and a like swirl of looks like stars and nebulous gases kind of like form behind his hand where it moves. Like, I think I could run circles around you, old lady. Have a good night. He like
They just
snaps his
smile.
fingers and just he just like bursts into starlight before it kind of just like fades and this music. As we do need a little bit of tension. There we go. As Afriel pulls away from his dream with Kindred, he walks over to the balcony looking over the city of Atet. Takes a deep breath. Just takes a step back into the room. Calm that down. Goes over to the desk, moves some things aside, picks up an orb. It was placed on it. Sets it down on its holder in the center of the desk. Concentrates. Puts a hand over it. Closes his eyes. I know you don't know who I am. I don't know if this will be important yet. But we are looking for you. Your brother is looking for you. I see you now. Do not be alarmed. We mean you no harm. And with that, we end for tonight. Good night, everybody.